morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. So, this morning we're going to work on some journals. At least I'm going to work on journals. Hello. I hope you guys are having a good start to your weekend. I'm going to do some work in my fairy journals, and then we might switch and do some work in the French country journals. These are journal kits from the 2024 year, where they were monthly kits. And so I'm just going to work on completing some of those today. We will be making some ephemera because I'm sure I don't have every little pocket made yet, even though it seems like I have a million pieces. I'm sure we'll be making some ephemera today. And yeah, so the first thing I'm going to work on is decorating the fairy journal covers that are not decorated yet. And then I'm going to stencil some paper bags, and then we're going to have to glue some stuff in, or at least let me place it in the pages so that I can see what we need. I don't want to waste a bunch of your guys' time. I know you have a lot of things to do on the weekend. So let me just place the pockets in the pages where I want them, and I will come back in and glue it on my own time so you guys aren't waiting for me to do that. But yeah, let's make some ephemera today. And it doesn't matter whether we just make ephemera that can go in any journal, or if we make ephemera that is like theme specific for French country or fairy or whatever we're working on. If you guys are looking for a project to do while you are watching today, making a master board is the easiest thing to do while you're watching a YouTube video, at least for me, because you're not doing a whole lot of thinking. You're just basically using a glue stick and gluing down paper scraps onto what I like to use is a coffee dyed 12 by 12, but you guys could use anything to glue your scraps down on. And then by the end of the video, if you're gluing scraps the whole time, basically just take out your scrap bin, whatever is in there, choose some scraps in a certain color palette, and then just start gluing them down. And by the end of the video, you're going to have master boards that you can cut up and make into ephemera. And so that's a good thing to do while you're watching anybody's video. Some of you guys like to craft along, meaning if I start making a certain kind of tag, you make the identical tag. That's good too. I don't have a specific set of supplies because I don't yet know what I exactly will be doing. I'm going to start with decorating the fairy cover. Anyway, how are you guys today? Good morning. Good morning. Look at you guys. Hello. Hello. Everyone out there. Lots of people jumping on. Okay. So we're going to get to work. I don't have a lot of chit-chattiness today. Still too early for me. I did have coffee. We're going to do, I don't know, an hour and a half at least of crafting today. If I'm gonna roll, then I might let it roll for the 3 hours, but we'll get into it and see how it feels. I would like to do some pockets today. There's a pocket that's on my brain, so I'd like to do some of those today too. Good morning. So what are you guys up to today? You're going to be crafting, getting in some crafty time this weekend. I know we're in the middle, like we're in between journal kits. If you aren't aware, the February journal kit is the next journal. We're shipping it this coming week. So we'll begin shipping this week. And then we will start making the February journal February 7th. That's the first Saturday in February. So every Saturday throughout the entire month of February, we will be here. We will be live, and we'll be making the February journal kit. There's four classes for each journal kit that come out. And so the first one begins February 7th for that journal. And so you guys will be getting invoices for not for super sale. You'll be getting invoices for the live sales, probably Monday of next week. And we'll already have your stuff packed probably and shipped by the time you guys get around to paying it. But don't worry if you get a tracking number ahead of your payment. It just means that your stuff is ready to go once your payment is received. Sometimes shipping is ahead of invoicing. Sometimes invoicing is ahead of shipping. Either way, we get them out next week. You've been cleaning the disaster of a craft room. It is very hard to keep your craft supplies organized. A, there is a lot of little things. B, there's, you could organize it in themes. You could organize it in color families. You could organize it by size of material. Like there's a million things, right? You could put like with like, or all your glue bottles over here, all your tags over here. Like there's so many different ways of organizing a craft room. So organizing is its own little hobby. Some of us enjoy it, some of us don't. Some people work better where they can see all of their supplies, meaning nothing is behind cabinet doors or in drawers that you have to pull out to see what is in there. Some people work where they have like open bookshelves and then they have bins with all the stuff stacked up in it so that they could just see in there. I think some people are more of a rummage through a bin kind of a crafter versus I know exactly where every little thing is and I go right to it and pull it. So I think there's kind of like left brain, right brain. I don't know what it is, but different kinds of theories on organizing and different theories on how to craft. Some people craft with this huge messy desk and they can't craft with a clean desk. They need all that clutter and all that mess, basically all those options right in front of them. And then some people have to have everything put away and then start with a clean desk and keep things very tidy as they go. I think most of the time I'm a tidy as you go kind of person. However, there are times where whatever I'm making, I do like to be surrounded by all the little options on my desk. So I'm kind of probably some of both, but I think organizing the craft tools is also very hard because they're different sizes and shapes and all that kind of stuff. So craft room organizing, a good way to start out the year. Cleaning your craft room and getting all organized. Lots of people do it in January. Kind of spring cleaning, but they get the craft room done before the spring comes. Oh my gosh. The monthly journal kits are sold. They're a physical journal kit. So it includes the digital papers that are already pre-printed for you. And it includes all of the old papers, the French ledgers, the book pages, dictionary pages, music paper, that. It includes the stuff to make the cover, the whole signature, and all of the ephemera. And those kits are sold every month on this channel, on the YouTube channel, but they're sold on the Tuesday and Thursday night live sales. So if you join me on Tuesday evening, I'm going to show the February kit again, and I will be offering it for sale again then. Or you could watch back. There was a preview last Tuesday where I showed you part of the kit, but not the whole kit. You could look at that too. But yep, live sales, that's where the kits are sold. And just remember, they're a physical journal kit, not a digital. There is digital kits in Etsy, and this kit will also go into Etsy, the digital part of it, but not the physical journal part. There will be a journal kit every month for the 2026 year. You can either take the single kit option or you can do the subscription, which guarantees you every kit as they come out. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about journal kit. Sorry for new people. Yep. Journal kits. And then if you join the Facebook group, that's the best way to stay up to date with all the information that all the things that I do personally, but also you can keep up with everyone else who is making the journal, and they'll post pictures of their journal as they're making it to give you more ideas. And then we do the crafting of the journal like every Saturday. Every Saturday for the rest of the year, I'll pretty much be doing lives and doing the monthly journal kits. That's what I do on Saturday. Thanks so much for joining, guys. Hello, John. Hello. Hello, hello. All right, so let's go ahead and flip the camera down and get started. I want to get a bunch of things done here early. Something else is going on today, and I'm trying to get stuff done ahead of that. Yeah. Good morning, Linda. Good morning. Awesome. So anybody else have questions about anything before we move on? And I do want to show, over Christmas break, I got a lot of Christmas cards that you guys made and you sent me. And I want to really quickly show those in the beginning and say thank you again, show off your work. You guys are awesome crafters, awesome makers. I never know whether to call you crafters or makers. Some people get offended by being called a crafter. Some people are like, but I just craft, I don't make. Like, it's different. So I like the term makers. I think makers is very self-explanatory. What do? You make the you craft, you make things, right? So anyway, I'm gonna call you makers. But yes, you guys did amazing. You made amazing Christmas cards, and you were so kind to send them to me. So I must say thank you for that. Sorry if my face looks tired. I am truthfully tired. I got home at 11 last night from my my daughter's house. Oh my gosh, that little baby is so cute. He is 5 months old now, and he is all smiles all the time except for feeding time. feeding and changing. But he is so smiley. He laughs, he giggles, he makes all the cute little baby noises. He'll talk to you. It's so hard only seeing him every 2 weeks. They live like an hour and a half away now. So, and truthfully, they lived like an hour and 15 minutes before that. So anyway, that's what I was doing yesterday is I got baby time in. So if you did send me a text message, just know that I haven't looked at it yet because I had baby time yesterday. I will look at it today. It is such a cute age. He grows and changes so much though in just a 2 week period, because I only see him every 2 weeks in general, unless like they're, we get together some other time, but the schedule is every 2 weeks. And he grows and changes so much in just a 2 week period. It's so funny. A hoarder of craft supplies. Well, I think that's where a lot of people start is they have to buy all the supplies to feel comfortable, like A, you have enough, B, you have enough options, you have enough colors, and just the tools alone, so first of all, you don't have to buy all the things, right? You can just craft with what you already have. But for those of us who are collecting the supplies and kind of getting all the options out there before we begin, I think that's probably the larger majority of us, is we buy all the things, we get our whole craft room set up or our craft cart. If you're, crafting on the dining table, a craft cart is a good option because it rolls away. You can tuck it in a closet when you're not using it. But we like to get the supplies and the stuff prepared. And then once we feel like we have, enough stuff to create something, then we create. So, wherever you are on your journey, whether you're just starting out and you have minimal supplies, or maybe you just have some scissors and some paper, a magazine, pasta box, whatever, anyone can make a journal, and you don't have to spend money to do junk journals. Junk journals, the definition was made from junk. So you could use junk mail and magazines and things that are meant for the trash bin, like a pasta box, and repurpose it, or a cereal box, and repurpose it into a junk journal. So wherever you are in that journey, some people have like fully, how should I say this? Where they have had like a professional come in and design their craft room and place all the cabinets and all the countertops and all that kind of stuff. Basically a interior designer designed their craft room. Some people have that. I don't have that. I have an IKEA craft room, but a lot of people, they deck out their craft rooms, and I like to watch craft room tour videos too. So that's a good option. If you're looking for organization tips, look up craft room tour on YouTube, and it will show you a bunch of different options, and all those people have decked out craft rooms. And some people don't. Some people just have like craft cart organization or craft cart tour, and you'll see how they organize their little rolling craft carts. All kinds of good options. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and switch this camera down so we can get started. Otherwise, I'll chat forever. You guys know I can chat. Okay, so I'm gonna work on these fairy journals in the beginning. Let me get myself set up over here. I think most of us start crafting on the dining table because it's the most available space when we begin. Okay, so these are the two that are not decorated yet. There's an older one. There's a newer one for quilts. Like this is an old quilt. This is a new quilt. This is one that is already decorated. I would like to do these two similar but different. Just a little bit of different. Don't want everything matchy, right? So this one has one of these postcards on the front of it. And so if I'm looking at this guy right here, let me get him in camera. He has the ruffle from the edge of the quilt. And I was thinking maybe this one on there, a little more earthy. And then the back side is different colorway. So it's just however the quilt piece was. So I've got this one. So I think that's a good option for that one. This one was also a good option. There is a little bit of magenta pink back there, and I like that one a lot. It's, a little boy fairy. So one of these two, that one or that one. So this is A. You guys can vote. Just type in A if you like A best, or type in B if you like B best. Now, obviously, I'll do some layering underneath there. There's like this one where it's, you know, it's got layers under it. I won't maybe exactly the same, but I'll definitely put some layering lace back there and more embellishing down here at the bottom, the spine lace. So A or B. There is magenta. I don't think it shows on camera, but this purpley color and this is in here in the quilt. You guys are all voting for A. You're not liking my little boy fairy? How sad. Well, anyway, I thought it would be cute to have a little boy fairy on the front. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how we layer him. But anyway, those were the two choices for that one, actually. We didn't even try that one. And it's because, honestly, I think maybe she's better over there. So these are the two for this one. Oops, sorry, I keep messing it up. These are the two for this one. This one could go here, or this one could go here. It depends on, do we want this to be like really, really heavily pink, or do we want to have it a little bit toned down? I know my preferences, but this is A for the pink one, and this is B for the pink one. I think I'm going with this for there. I love how you guys are voting. I know. It's not really junk journals. Most of us don't make junk journals. We make journals. So I don't know. We just call them junk journals for a reason. Kind of escapes me. This one is very brown. Doesn't have a lot of color. This one has more color. So let's look at what we could layer behind this one. So here, sorry for reaching in front of the camera. I'll probably be doing that a lot tonight or today, whatever time of day it is. So if I put some pink lace back there, like this is a very big piece, but we can start to bring in that pinky color a little bit more and see how the orangey brown kind of match the orangey brown. So I think I'm leaning towards this for that one. And I think I'm going to leave that one there. I mean, these were good options. Just, this is very heavily pink and busy. And this was just a little too brown and void of other colors for me. But they're very cute. So anyway, we'll tuck those into the bin and possibly use those as journal cards or something. But let's get working on this so I don't waste too much of your guys' time. No, we don't see very many boy fairies. And that's kind of why I liked it too. You know, if you are doing one for your daughter and one for your son, you know, who knows? But I'm going to do this little boy on here. I think it's cute. And I like the pink back there to bring in some pink to the front cover. I like the green skirt at the bottom matches the grass. So that's what I'm going to do there. We might put another lace with the underlaying, the layering one under there. And for this one, I don't know if I want pink. That's a very pink cover. I think we're just going to do white lace under there. Something like that. Because I'm not a pinky girl. I like the color pink. I think it's beautiful. I wear pink sometimes, but I'm not a really pink frilly lace person. I like neutrals more than that. All right, so let's go ahead. And for this one, we did all of our layering and we built that whole topper and everything. And then we put the spine lace down and wrapped those little points around the postcard. So I'm going to do the same kind of thing. The first thing we need to do is we need to ink around our focal point things, just to give them a little color. We don't want any white edges showing. And so what I'm doing here, you could use this method, this technique, whatever layering formula I'm doing. You could use this and make a topper and decorate the front of any journal. If you're still working on the December journal kit, which was the Christmas one from last year, and you haven't decorated the front of that journal, you could use exactly what I'm doing today. And you could be decorating your Christmas journal cover. So basically you just find some kind of focal point that you like. It could be like a masterboard base with a focal point that you've added on it. Could be like, you know, even a tag that you cut the top of the tag off of and you just like the bottom and you put that as your focal point. Could be many things. In truth, I heavily inked that. We'll wipe that back just a little bit. I don't know. First thing in the morning, I think I'm more heavy-handed than later in the day. Who knows? All right. So there's those. These are water. I mean, it's Tim Holtz Distress Ink. They're water reactive. So you can wipe them back with just your fingers. Or you could put a little water, but I think I'm just going to wipe it back. There we go. Much better. Love it. Okay, so now we just need to get that lace underneath. First thing first is we just need to get that lace underneath. I'm going to be gluing today. Anytime I use fabric, I'll be using Fabri-Tac. The boy fairy, I know he's cute. A memory book for my grandson. It is very cute. I don't know what we're going to do for him. I don't know. I think we just need to make a cute little baby book. My daughter for Christmas got one of those photo printers that you print out your photographs. And so I know we're going to be prepared with all the photographs to stick in the journal. We just got to decorate or figure out a theme and go with it. So let's work on, honestly, that pink lace like that is pretty good. I just need to make sure I tuck it back. I'm not sure if I'm putting a seam binding closure or just wrapping. I think I'm wrapping. I don't think I'm putting an eyelet right here for a closure. I think I'm just wrapping some sari around them for a closure or possibly seam binding, but let's not worry about that because I don't think I'm putting an eyelet there. Honestly, both laces are pretty good. Let's just stick these guys down. Now, both of these laces have a little bit of shimmer to them because they're made with like a silky thread. If you don't want it to be super shimmery, because there's a shimmery side down here. If you don't want it to be super shimmery, you can use it backwards like I'm about to do. I just don't want it in your face shimmery. So I'm just going to do this haphazardly. First things first is I'm putting a little glue there, and that might freak some people out, but I'm just putting a little to hold this lace, and we'll come back to it in a minute. So I could cut this lace down, but I like the ruffle imperfect look. So I'm just kind of tacking it down, folding it up, layering it under there. We're pretty good. I like that. Okay. So the lace is kind of tacked into that glue that I squirted out on the quilt cover. This is a thick quilt. It's not going to go through to the other side, so I don't have any concerns there. And then we'll tuck this and perfect this after we get some glue on the back of this. So we just want to glue as close as you can to the edge without making your glue squirt out. You don't want your postcard or your topper to peel up off the front of your journal. Nothing's worse than that, probably. The front of your journal gets the most wear and tear. Every time the person who buys your journal opens it up to work in it, that front cover gets slid around on tables or desks or wherever the person is working in their journal. So you want to make sure that your topper is really glued down and secure. Some people sew their toppers to the front of their journals. You know, you could have sewed around this postcard. That would have been nice, actually. And then in the center where the glue isn't going to squirt out, I add quite a bit of Fabri-Tac. Quite a bit in there. And that's because, again, I want that to go through this lace and attach to that quilt. I've got my lace all bunched up. And I like to place my focal points a little higher than the halfway mark, just slightly up from, like, you know, if you make a cross if you make a cross with your eyes or a ruler or whatever, you want to go just slightly up from the center. So there's actually where that is. I can pull that over just a little, straighten it up, and then we'll push it down. And there we're just squishing the glue into everything. If you're good with the way all of your underlaying lace is, then you don't need to tuck it in. But like this little piece that's hanging over the edge right there quite a bit, if you didn't want that, you could bring in that ruffle. I kind of like it sticking out, so I'm just going to leave it there. But if you need to make any more ruffles, you could just pinch it with your finger and push it under there, and it will make a little ruffle. Some people get really intimidated by decorating the fronts of their journals. Nothing is a mistake that cannot be fixed. Like if you make it and you do not like it, it always can be fixed. So don't stress about it. I like to plan it out and lay it out before I just start gluing. That way I at least know I like it, you know, and I like the layering before I start gluing. So that's kind of my method, is I like to pre-plan it. Okay, so now we have that down. Let's go ahead and get this one down because I want to do them at the same step each time. So this one, again, it's a bigger piece of lace. You can see it does have a little shimmer. And on this side, I am okay with the little shimmer around the petals and stuff like that. I'm okay with a little shimmer on this one. Let's kind of change our angle, change our ruffles, something like that. Okay. And when I'm happy with that, I'm just going to pinch it. And then I'm going to put some glue on the front. Now you do want to make sure that your journals are the right way up and you're not decorating the back of your cover on accident or upside down or all those good things that happens to us as crafters. You want to make sure that you're decorating the front of the journal right side up. All right, so there's my lace little bunchy. That's pretty good. Just tacking that in there. Anytime you're working with Fabri-Tac, if you're going to use a lot of it and you're going to get your fingers all gluey, a rubber or silicone spatula is a good idea because then it saves your fingers from getting too gluey. That's pretty good. I like that. Let's get this one on. Good morning, Shelly. Good morning, everybody. All right. We're off to a good start for the weekend. It's 9 a.m. where I am in Arizona. And the crafting classes, Craft With Me is whatever we're calling them, they are usually, pretty much always is my plan, but Saturday mornings at 9 my time. And then right now, I believe that is 11 Eastern. When the time zone changes for the rest of the world, because Arizona does not change, I keep my classes at 9 a.m. my time. So you'll just follow along with whatever time zone you're in. I know it's difficult because your guys' time changes and mine doesn't. And in fact, it tripped me up on the first live. I came back from Christmas break. And it tripped me up because I was like, I don't know what time it is. I relied on the computer to tell me, and apparently it had changed its clock and told me the wrong time. It was kind of funny. I mean, funny for me, not really funny for those of you who had to sit here for an hour early, but sorry about that. I have been slipping up like crazy. It's like if I take time off, I don't know how to do my job when I come back. You just get out of rhythm, I guess. I don't know how to say it. Anyway, the live sales on Tuesday and Thursday are 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I always time those 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then I adjust from there. And maybe I should do that for Craft With Me too, but anyway. Again, this is a thick quilt. It's not going to seep through. And then because I'm crafting quite a ways away from my face, I like to pick them up, make sure that my toppers are where I like them to be. They look good. I like all the frilly little lace tucking out. Now you could tack that down, but I want it to be loose, and it is held down by quite a bit of glue here. So I'm not stressed about it coming off or anything, and I've pushed that in there pretty good. This one, again, it's good. Just making sure it's lined up, it's straight. Okay, so at this point, you want to go and you want to check your edges. You want to make sure that your edges are secure enough where nothing is going to pull up. And if it's pulling up a little too much, I know we're going to add some additional lace here, so I'm not going to really worry about the bottom. But if it's pulling up too much, now's the time where you want to go in, like right there, that corner, you would want to put some glue if it was pulling up from the fabric. Mine's not really pulling up from the fabric, but if it was, you'd put some glue under there. Same with that one. So just check it before you move on and make sure you have enough glue. Like honestly, we could put a little right there. Because again, it's the corner, it gets the most wear. I'm just going to put a little glue dot right there and just squish that down. All right, good, good. Happy with both of those. Let's go ahead and worry about the bottom down here. I like to put a little bottom decoration, balance it with something up here at the top. This is what I did to the other one. So I layered up a couple of laces. There's a white one and a little cream one. Just layered up a couple. And again, I do this before I do my spine lace so that my spine lace can wrap over it. And then just to balance, because I feel like if you do this, it's really bottom heavy. But if you bring up some kind of other element, either here or here, it kind of balances the flow. So that was what I did there. Let's do something similar. Let's do, I have like this. I think this is better over here. Super blingy. It's kind of long here and I don't want to cover up too much of her feet. I could trim this off maybe and make it a little less long. I don't know if we want to do bling, but it's pretty and it's cute. Let's save that one. I do have some little blingy flowers that have pearls and sequins. And so we could do that to balance. We could do that to balance up there at the top. What else do I have? Small pieces. I need to go grab some lace, it looks like. I have these. Could do that across that one. That looks pretty good. You could do that for the bottom layer there. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. You could do that across there for the first one, and then we'd come with something white because this is more of a ecru lace. Could come with something white underneath of it or on top of it there. We could do the same to that one. Let me see if I like it. It's okay. I think I want something a little more white. I'm not sure about it there either, but let's look at the white one. So the white one, definitely that for this one. So let's cut a piece of that. So we'll do that one across there. Now let me see this one. It does look better with white, but what I was thinking is layering. So if we did that one, and then we did the white one and offset the points, we can bring this one down a little bit too and offset. I still don't think this one. It's nice. I will use this somewhere else, but just not right there. We can use that on page edges. I also have this one. So let's cut this because we're going to use it. And I don't know where I want the point to end at the other side. So let's just cut it a little bit wider. Perfect. So there's those two bits. Now we need the topper bit. I have this one sitting in front of me. And the laces are all available in Etsy. That's where I keep the laces if you're interested in those. But let's go ahead. These ones are kind of like floppy. I do like this one though. It almost looks like little fairy wings. So let's use this. For sure, let's use that. Let me go cut a piece that is not quite so floppy. That one's probably been laying in a craft bin. Let's cut one that isn't so floppy. There we go. I had to get up and go get one. That's better. So wherever we want those points to end up. And then let's do the same over here. I like the little fairy wing detail. Okay, a little snippet. I mean, we could just start building it as we go. Okay, so we have the layering bit down there. Now you could add more layering. You could have done the layer where the first one goes all the way across the edge, and then the next one you could not go all the way, and it's just a different look. Just to kind of layer it part of the way and do a stair step over here. You don't have to do it on top of each other. If I have two pointed laces, I try not to do this where they're literally on top with the point going with this point. I try to offset the points where there's that point, and then I come in and put the other point in between. So I like the in-between look, the offset. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. Let's get those glued. Hello and welcome. My quiet corner, hello and welcome. Yes, what is your first name? Carol. Nice to meet you, Carol. Welcome. Welcome all you new people watching for the first time. I encourage you to join chat. Chat, there's a lot of friendly people in chat. You can also ask questions, like journal related questions. I just got glue on my sleeve. You could also ask journal related questions there in chat, and either I'll answer you or chat will answer you. But I have a very friendly community. They're always very welcoming. I'm just going to add glue here. I wasn't sure if I wanted to add it to the lace or I wanted to add it to the front, but we're just going to add it here for now. And this lace on this postcard, we're going to go up just a little bit, and then I will add additional glue there. But you're free to chat along. I'm going to add it just a little over the edge. Tap that in. That's where that silicone spatula would come in handy. Just get it secured down. And then this one's going to go like that. Perfect. Okay. Making sure I'm gluing on the right side. We're here every Saturday, and you're all welcome to join. When we start doing the monthly journal kits, you don't have to purchase a journal kit to join and craft with us. You could craft and make a very similar journal with supplies you already have. So now I've got glue on that. That wasn't very smart. Let's work on it like this now. And offset that one right there. All right, so there's that. Got our layers down. I didn't worry about gluing this end yet. Either I will snip some off or leave it, and our spine lace will cover it. But there's that. So he looks pretty good. Let's move on and do the bottom part of this one. I just need this to dry a little bit more. There it goes. So you could rub it. The Fabri-Tac, the good thing with it is you literally can rub it and it goes away. If you get Fabri-Tac on like the middle of your postcard or something and you didn't want it there, it rubs off and then it rubs into little balls. So you can clean it off of your fingers the same way. All right, so now we can move this and not worry about it. Let's get some glue on it. Kate's formula. I don't know that I mean, I don't know where the formula came from, but I just like doing it this way. I think it's nice. It's balanced. It doesn't really matter. Like you could cut up a doily and just tuck some crochet doily at the bottom of your focal point. There's so many ways of doing a front cover. Again, I don't exactly know where I want that to end, so I'm just going to leave it there. There's that one. And then let's get glue over the top this time. And then on this one, need to find the front. This is the back. On this one, I'm just going to get those little fairy wings with a dot. And we'll come back and add the rest here in just a second. All righty. And I'm going to offset that like that roughly. So my little points are hanging down. There we go. And I'm just lightly pushing that in for now. Let it start tacking up and then we'll get it all glued down. There's a Facebook group where you guys are posting amazing makes in, and I really appreciate you guys sharing your work. The Facebook group is called Junk Journal Makers. It's linked in the description box below the video for anyone who wants to go over and become a member of the Facebook group. We hit the 10,000 mark in the first year, and I didn't even tell you guys, but you know, we hit 10,000 couple of 10 days ago, maybe 10,000 members in the first year. And that's amazing. You guys post amazing things. You guys are always helping each other out and giving inspiration in that Facebook group. I so appreciate you guys joining the Facebook group and participating in all the challenges. There's challenges going on right now where you can win a $50 Amazon gift card. There's actually 2 challenges and 2 $50 gift cards. And they're super easy challenges. I don't create more work for people. Y'all already have enough to do. I don't want to create more work for you. So now I'm just going to go under and just make sure that there is some glue. And I'm going pretty far up underneath these points, that there's some glue under there to make sure we're tacked down. Nothing is going to be too terribly loose. I want some ruffle, so I'm not putting glue all the way at the end, right? I want it to look like fabric and move. I just don't want it too floppy or it'll get torn off. And so right here, I can just add a little glue. Perfect. All right, so that's pretty much, you know, the hardest part of that. And now we're going to add lace down the spine. And for that, this isn't a long enough piece, but I have this kind of lace. This kind of lace to go down the spines. And I like this one because it's symmetrical. The same design is on both the front part of where we're going to put it and the back part. And so we're just going to lay that on there. I'm going to tuck it more over there so it doesn't cover up my focal point, and we're going to put that on. I want it to go over the postcard just a little bit and over this part down here, just like this first one. Just like this one, where it just touches the postcard and it covers up all the ends of this. The lace that we put here, it's going to cover up the end. So let's do that quick. I'm glad that you guys are keeping cozy. That's awesome. That's awesome. It was kind of chilly this morning. It was only like 42 or 40. I don't know. It was kind of chilly. I've got a lot of extra lace right here and I don't want the bulk. So I'm just going to trim it, and I'm not even being careful. I'm just trimming because the lace is going to cover, the spine lace is going to cover that up. So here's my spine where I sewed in my signature. I am going to hold this journal closed right there, closed here with this hand, and I'm going to add glue here. You could pinch it with a binder clip or something like that, but we're just going to freehand it today. And I'm going to take this glue and I'm going to do a pretty thick bead. And I'm going to go right across the spine, right across those signature strings, and I'm leaving that glue very thick. I'm covering up all the holes where I bound the journal. This one was bound with a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. And then I'm going all the way to the top, minus like, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch or something like that. And I didn't go all the way to the bottom either. I just went nearly to it. So there's a lot of glue on there. If I feel like I need more in some areas, I'll come back and do a little more. But I've got a really thick bead of glue right there. And that's what I want when I start doing this. So now, this is hard with one hand. I'm going to lay that on there. Sorry. I'm going to lay that on there. The two challenges, there is a challenge pretty much every month where if you post anything junk journal related that you handmade, that you yourself handmade, like a cover, a whole completed journal, a journal card, a pocket, a tag, whatever it is, if it's journal related and you handmade it, you post that into the Facebook group, just a picture of it. Just even one photo. You don't even have to say what it is. You just post a picture of it and use the hashtag January JJM challenge. That's the general challenge. So like there's not a specific thing you have to make. It's just anything that's junk journal related. Right now I'm rubbing my hand over this and I'm just pushing it down into the glue and I'm smoothing it out, making sure this line is straight down there. And I am getting glue on my hand, but that's okay. And then from there, we're going to lay this down and we're going to secure the front and then we're going to come back and secure the back. So the first challenge, and I'm leaving it long here because I don't know exactly where I want it to end. I think I have an idea. And I might as well trim it because I know where I'm going. I'm going to cut off this last little panel. So the first challenge is just the general one, and it's just January JJM challenge for the hashtag. The reason why I asked that you guys use the hashtag is because it was, oh my gosh. First of all, y'all can search the hashtag and just see everybody's entries. So if you just want to see what everybody posted for the January challenge, just go to the search bar in the Facebook group and search January JJM challenge and it'll all come up. Make sure you put the hashtag in there. Then the second challenge is a pocket challenge. And so when I do challenges, you could make the stuff like right there today and show us what you made. You could have made it last month or you could have made it 5 years ago. I don't care when you make the things. Just post pictures of what you've made and just share it with everyone. Okay, so second challenge is pockets. That means that you are sharing a picture of a pocket that you made with everyone. So this challenge is specific. It does need to be a pocket. But other than that, like it could be a pocket you made last year. I'm not asking you guys to sit down and spend 5 hours making a specific item and making challenges difficult. Challenges, if they're difficult and people don't have time to do them, then they don't do them. So we all pretty much, we're into junk journal making. We like to make stuff. If you see something that somebody made in a YouTube video and you sit down and you're like, oh, that's cool, I want to make one, just share it in the Facebook group. Very simple. So the pocket one is January JJM Pocket Challenge with a hashtag at the front. Again, super simple. Can be any kind of pocket. Can be something that took 5 seconds to make. Could be something that took 5 minutes, 5 hours. It doesn't matter. Just share what you made there. Got a little ruffle situation and I just want to make sure that that's going to lay nice there. Good. So now I've added lace, or I've added glue back in here and on the points of this lace. I'm just getting those stuck down to my quilt and to my postcard. That looks pretty good. Now let's go ahead and flip it over to the back. And now we're going to glue these points down. So when you add the center spine lace, doing that right on the signature strings, right down the spine, that bead of glue all the way down, that's what holds the rest of your lace. And then you just come in because you don't know where this little thing, like if you added glue here, you don't know where this is going to go. So add that bead, then come back in, work with the front first, because that's the one we care about most. If we're going to make an accident, let's make sure we're not making it on the front. And then add glue back here to the little points. So I'm taking this glue and I'm adding it here where there is design because that's what's going to hold the glue. And so I get it all the way to the point and I put a little in there, and all the way to the point, put a little in there. That's the way I like to add that center lace down the spine. It gets it really symmetrical, really nice and even on there. And you get all your little points exactly where you want them. So there's that. Super simple. Making sure we've got glue on all those points, and we do. And then we just fold it over. So simple. All right. That's great. It's all glued down. My points are straight. And then back to the spine to make sure that that hasn't shifted. Or cover. There we go. Make sure that hasn't shifted and that we're good there. And that we're straight. And then just make sure this is still good. And I want to make sure that those points are really glued down. And they are. That one could use a little. There we go. All right. So we did some covers. We're not done. I got to do the lace down the spine of the next one. And I got to add the little bit that's going to balance. Because right now, if you look at it, it's super heavy down here. See what a difference. Adding one little element here or here, depending on what kind of laces you used, that's what's going to tell you what corner you need to add this in. If you're adding lace down the spine, most of the time it's going to be that top right corner that you want to add an embellishment in. It's just a little something that balances the design. It brings a little bit of, your eye is, it feels very heavy down here. Plus we have this ruffle. It feels very heavy down here, and you just want to add something up there to kind of bring the lace across the cover. See the difference of nothing and something? It's a big difference. Okay, so there's that. Do I like or dislike fussy cutting? I personally find no joy in it. Like I'm never going to tell you I love fussy cutting. Fussy cutting is a necessity, so I will do it. I don't mind doing it when I'm doing a couple pieces to put on some tags or some journal cards or something like that. But I am never going to be that person that just fussy cuts for fun. It's just not going to be me. I don't hate it. I just don't think that it's not my jam. I'm great at, doing it. We can cut it out. We can use what we need to use and get it done. But no, I'm not that kind of person that loves it. Okay, so anyway, let me set this one to the side. And let's go back to this one and get this one done quick. Don't need to chat as much about it. Just going to cut off a little of that extra. A little tiny bit there. You can throw that away. Hopefully I have another long piece of... Ooh, I might only have little pieces. In case this ever happens to you and you need to piece it together. Yeah, I might only have little pieces at this point. So we're going to piece it together. I mean, ideally you don't have to do that. But if you're like me and you find yourself with, well, I don't have any long pieces. All I have are two little ones. This is what we're going to do. We're going to make it work. So again, I'm going to put the cover where both pieces are lined up, and I'm going to hold that with my hand. And then I'm going to add that glue down here. And we're not going to care about any of this being loose right now. That does not matter. We're going to add that bead of glue. And I do it like just a little 1/4 inch up from the edge of the cover. I go slow and get a thick bead of glue there. And then stop just before the end of my cover there. Get my glue strings. Now this one, let's do it not backwards. Let's do it from the top down. So I'm just going to guess and lay that on there. So there's the top portion. So we didn't quite make it all the way to the bottom. Let's get that there. Can pull it down and straighten it out. That's okay. There we go. So We've got that down. We just want to tap it in the glue. Make sure it's straight. And then on that side, tuck that lace back under there. Make sure our points are going to line up where we want them, which they are. And honestly, there's just a little section, and it doesn't even look bad from the front that it's not on there. You could have almost just put it right in the middle and left some of that quilt showing. I'm going to show you how to piece it together. So as long as my line is straight, we're going to lay that down there. And we're going to add the glue here. Same thing we did before, where we get it out to the point and we just add glue where there is heavy lace to do so. If you're ever using like a net kind of a lace, make sure you're adding the glue where there is decoration and not just open netting. Even though Fabri-Tac is clear, it dries a little shiny, and sometimes you can see that. So if that matters to you, make sure you're adding it only where the decoration is. Okay, so there's that part. I just got glue right across the front, a little glue line. I'll try to pick it up with my finger. All right, so we're going to tuck those over and that under there. There we go. Little ruffling situation. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to hold those down for a minute. There we go. Love it. That's all good. Now let's glue. I got glue here. I keep touching it. Let's glue these ones down so that that part is done. The scan and cut is awesome. It is. However, I am hoping that in the future there is something better. Scan and cut is great, but with scan and cut, the best thing that I have found is that it will cut out some ephemera for you, some focal points, etc. But you're going to need to give it an image in a very specific format to get it to work well. The papers that you put in there to scan need to have a border around them. They cannot, or I shouldn't say they cannot, but scan and cut works best with bordered designs, where it can clearly see where the edge is and where the designs are so that it cuts them out. It's great. I like it. It does fussy cut a lot of things for you. However, I really hope that in the future there's something a little bit better, because it has a heart. It can only cut where it sees. So like if you have a flower with a lot of intricate bits and pieces, it does have a hard time with that, unless it is a defined border, like a black edge around the image. And it also needs, it cuts best with a black edge around the paper as well. I don't know exactly. It just needs to see the edges so that it can cut best. I don't really use mine very much. A couple years ago, I probably used it a lot more. It's on the bottom shelf of my craft room now, and that's where we forget about things. So before I add the next piece to fill in, I'm just going to make sure that's straight. And straighten it out. There we go. And then let's add that little section here that we're missing. And so for that, there's one little bit that I cut off of the last one. Let's go ahead and put that right here. And we're just going to fill it in. So we're just going to keep it going just like it was always there. And so I'm going to reapply this glue here because I've kind of touched it and smeared it and everything else. So let's get it there. And then lay that piece in. And so if you ever have to piece it together, just piece it together. I've got a nice line here where I know exactly where it goes. Just line up your pattern. That's really all that you got to worry about. There we go. It's pieced together. It's lined up. Let's worry about getting this down. So cover decoration can be pretty quick and easy. You can do more layering if you want. You could add a ton of embellishments. You do go through the Fabri-Tac though, don't you? And I know there are other glues that you guys like to use too. I just like Fabri-Tac. So there's that one. Thank you for joining. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your Saturday. All right. There's that. All glued down. Honestly, it's pretty seamless. If you are concerned about right here, just make sure you've got it all glued down to where it's not going to peel up. You could add a bow or a different kind of embellishment or something there if you had a definite line. Like, I'm lucky that this lace doesn't really have that much of a line right there where you're going to see it. But if you have a definite line, you could certainly add something else to kind of blend that in and cover it up. Okay, so we're all good with those. Let's add those couple little corner pieces and move on with our day. I'm going to rub that glue off before it's permanently sat there. There we go. Perfect. All right, I like that. I'm going to trim up this little edge right here. Good. And let's figure out what we want to add there. I cut, where is it? Somewhere in here, I cut a single flower. All the laces start sticking together. So I'm going to give you a couple different examples of what we can do to decorate that top right corner. Right after I fix this sticky lace situation. I've got layering laces. I've got little bits of lace. Those flowers. Okay. Let's fold that up and tuck that away because I don't think we're going to need that anymore. So for the top corner, the top right corner, this is the first one we did. That's the first one we did. See, it's similar, but it's different. It's not exactly the same. Similar, but different is good. We're going to take something and add it right here. We could add this, which I keep showing you, and I like that. It goes with the theme. It's got kind of iridescent sequins up there. So I really like that. But if you didn't have these or something like that, you could take this kind of an applique lace and you could go in there, and it will make somebody cry, but you could go in there and cut out a bit of the applique. Just follow the pattern around and cut, you know, a section that you think looks pretty, like that. And you could just put that up there around the edge. So applique lace or appliques themselves, you could come in and cut like a little section of that leaf right there. You could cut out that big spray of a flower. So think of lace in sections and bits and pieces. So I really like that one too. That one looks good. Let's go. And on this one, I just used part of a different applique. It wasn't as shiny. Just reading chat for just a second. Okay. All right. So back to what I was doing. I'm going to add this one or this one. Let's get both of the journals out here so we can see them both. Love it. The iridescent flower there or that one. I think the flower on this one, and I think the little iridescent lace right there. let's take a peek. I need to make sure that these, see how they're like super loose right there? Not for a front cover, right? Like those are definitely going to come off at some point. We can use that in a different way, but it's just not right for the front cover. So let's cut out a different one. This one, it has all the beads on it and they're tight and secure. So we could put that one right there. It's a little different flower, different setup. We could cut it out this way also and have more of the actual flower. I like that one. So let's do that. Now, if you didn't have any of this kind of lace or appliques or whatever, the other option would be to build yourself a cluster. Build yourself a little cluster or use a cluster that you already have and start by putting that cluster up there. So there's different ways of decorating, but you can embellish however you want to on your journal cover. I'm going to add this flower right here. And again, I'm just using Fabri-Tac to tack it down. After we're done with this, we're going to get putting some pockets and stuff inside and eventually get to make a pocket. I'm sure we'll make pockets today. I think we're going to need them for both French Country and Fairy. So we'll probably be making both kind of pockets. And then this one. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like this has a net. I know I have glue all over my fingers, but this has a net. See the net right here? Right there is net. It's very hard to see. So when you're adding glue, you always want to add glue to the design, but not the net. So you're going to add glue here and even there a little bit, but not the net. Follow the design. I didn't get any glue up here in the net area. It's better if I show you over there. I didn't get any glue here, only on the design itself. And then just position that in whatever kind of diagonal direction you want to put it in. I kind of like it over there. And tap that down. And if we have a ruffle, we want to make sure we're getting the right look there. Perfect. Love them. Love them. Okay. How many pages do you put lace on the inside? I put them on 3 pages in the front half of the signature and 3 pages in the back half of the signature. I'm getting the glue off my fingers, but yes, 3 in the front and 3 in the back. That is my preferred way. It does not have to be exactly that. You can put lace wherever you feel like you need it, or page ruffles, or whatever you want to do on the edge of pages. I just like the symmetry of 3 in the front and 3 in the back. And that's a single signature journal. You could do, if you're doing 3 signatures, you could do 2 pieces of lace per signature, would also look good. There's not an exact formula. All I can tell you is what I do. Is there a glue question? So let me show you. Does this one have, so this one has some lace. It doesn't have all the lace. I still need to do that. I think I just rubbed glue in my hair. So you'll pardon me when I flip the camera back around if there's glue in my hair. So this one has lace and it doesn't have it on 3. It looks like it has it on 2. And so if I can, this is my center spread. So this is the center of my journal where I've sewn in my signature. Right there's my signature strings. If I can, I like to add it on both sides of the center. And so what I mean by that is on the left and on the right. I don't add it on both sides of the page because the way I put my lace on, it sticks out. So you get the look without adding it on both sides, but only on one side of the paper, like one front or back of the paper. But I do add it in the center if I can on both sides. And I think that just looks nice in the center, right? It's very symmetrical. I like symmetrical. Not everybody does. So I've added it here. This is one. Okay. And then if we go back through my signature, the only other one I've added it on so far is this guy. And so truthfully, oh, nope, I've added a third one here. So I did add 3 in this one. And I like to use the longest lace, the one that's going to stick out the most off of the page, as the last lace. Okay, so this is the front part of my signature. This right here is the front part. And I use the longest one on the bottom, then the medium one, then the tiny one. Because I like it when they open their front cover, they're seeing all three laces kind of layer. Now this one does have a piece of ledger here, and truthfully, you probably could have put the lace out there, but I needed it here for the front page of my journal. So it is a little flexible formula, but 3 pieces. I like to use a narrow, a medium, and a wide so that I can have that little, you know, ruffly, layery look right there. But you could use 3 pieces of any lace. So that's the first half. The second half, I do exactly the same lace on exactly the same page on the other side if I can. So this one, I did the same. Then we get back here to this one, and it's the same page. There's the front of the page, there's the back of the page, and it has the lace on it. And then this one, I couldn't add. I put a pocket here, so I couldn't add lace to that one. So I just went back to where I found a page that lace looked nice, and I added lace there. So this is not the first page, where this is the first page. So it doesn't have to be the same page, because you're going to put pockets in, you know, you're going to put pockets wherever you need to put pockets. So if it's not exactly the same page, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Just try to do, in my opinion, I try to do the stair step where I've got all 3 laces showing just like this. And I try to do them on the same page, but if I can't, I can't, and it's okay. Hopefully that answers in detail. One signature is one signature is about 15 pages. So 15 pages that you fold in half, right? That's how I do mine. However, I don't count thin papers. I don't count vellums. I don't count, if we use onion skin, I don't count short little pages, short little book pages. So like these are not counted. This is counted. Why is this counted and these aren't? These don't add a lot of bulk. They're not full pages. Generally, I count the thick, full-size pages, and I'm aiming for about 15. In this one, I have 1. I don't know if I counted that, but I probably counted that. That's 2, 3. Coffee dye is 4. That's another digital. That's 5. I didn't count that one. I didn't count that one. This is 6. Didn't count. This is 7. This, maybe you count that as 8, maybe not, whatever. 8, 9, because this is a digital. Don't count that. Don't count that. Don't count that. Didn't count that. That's 10, 11, 12. Didn't count 13. Didn't count that. That's 14. So in that one, using exactly my rough little count there, I had 14 pages. But I don't count thin things. And basically my method is I don't want to count things that are not going to be bulky and bulk up my signature. I want to cram as many pages in here as I can. But the full size 28-pound printed digitals, I want about 8 of those. Then I always add ledger in mine. Sometimes I count it, sometimes I don't. Depends on the thickness of the ledger. Then your coffee dyed paper, your maybe 4 pieces of coffee dyed paper per 8 digitals, something like that. I always add book pages. So you're going to have to figure out your own formula, but I'm aiming for 15 full-size pages that are journal weight so that somebody can write on them. If somebody can't write on it and it's a thin page, don't count it. If it's not a full-size page, don't count it. You're going to come up with your own, but roughly 15 pages. The lace does not interfere with the closure. Lace, again, it's fabric. If you tie something around that, all that happens is you squish your lace a little bit. It's not impacting anything. Lace, page ruffles, all that kind of stuff, it's fabric. What we tie our journals with is mostly fabric too. Even if you used elastic closure or something like that, it's not going to interfere with that at all. Oftentimes, almost every journal I make, I'm putting lace fluffing out down here at the bottom too. And so all of that fluffy lace, when you sit your journal on a shelf, it's going to sit on that lace. But lace is fabric, it's flexible, it's not going to hurt anything. In this journal, I do need to add more lace to the bottoms of pockets and pages and things, because I like to see lace kind of pillowing out from down here. So that's another step that needs to be done. Okay, I think these are done. It's okay. There are many videos showing me put together a signature, and the first class that we do for the February journal, you're going to see me make the cover, and then we're probably going to do the signature in the second class. So you'll see me assemble a whole entire signature, and that's for the February journal. The third class is usually ephemera, pockets, and then tags and journal cards. And the fourth class is usually finishing touches. Maybe we decorate the cover if we haven't already, that kind of thing. So we should make an entire journal in 4 classes. However, there's also 365 videos where I make a lot of the ephemera that takes time, basically. So let's go with that for closures, or for oh my gosh, for tops of journals. For covers of journals. Let's go with that for now. You could, if you felt like you needed to, add some more embellishing down here if you wanted. You could add a tiny little doily piece or something. If you wanted to, you could keep going and balance that a little more. I actually do like a little flower down there. Maybe for that one we will. I don't want to get this one too foo-foo-y because it's a boy, but whatever. Let's do that. Let's go with that. Let me clean up this glue mess. And I don't even have baby wipes in here. That's how much of a non-craft room this is, that I don't even have baby wipes in here. So you just take the glue off the top with your finger, put your cap back on, and then we can clean our fingers here. Okay, I'm going to clean my hands quickly because we're going to get to making and putting in the pockets and the tags and all that kind of stuff. Now, most of it is pre-made because I've already done it. These were journals from last year. So I'm just going to take the time to show you, and we're going to pick out pockets together. Now, when I show you the ephemera I've made, it might give you an idea to either make the same piece of ephemera, or maybe you want to make something, not fairy themed or whatever, a certain pocket. So I'm going to show you the ephemera. Hopefully it inspires you. I am rubbing off the glue. I'm sorry, it is a little bit disgusting, but these are my hands. This is after making 2 covers. Yes, you could be neater. Yes, you could use a silicone spatula, but I don't mind. The glue, it washes right off. I just don't want any sticky glue when I'm touching the paper. So there's that. Let's move on and do some pockets. So we have lovely journals. I mean, I'm super happy with those. Super happy. This right here, in all honesty, I keep looking at it and I'm wondering if I should put another piece of lace there. I keep looking at it. I don't know if it's like the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. But what if we tucked another lace? I mean, it's going to be hard to do at this point, but I can kind of get it tucked under there. We might tuck another lace in there and have lace stripping down further. I might have to play with that more, but we might. It's kind of good the way it is, but I might play with that cover a little bit more. But let's go ahead and look for pockets and put them in these journals. So for pockets and pre-made ephemera, there's a bunch of stuff in here. I'm going to pull it out and we're going to look through and see what we want to do in here. We have some very little scrappy notepads, and I'll show you in detail more of this stuff too. Here are some fairy journal cards that just have, these are super simple, just ledger backgrounds, nothing too technical there, but if you have questions or something, I'll be more detailed in my explanation if need be. Then I have some flower journal cards, and those can go in fairy, of course. And I'm just looking through a bucket. I've got some document bundles that we could put in the fairy journals. I've got these little lacy tags. There's another one of those. I've got clusters and tabs and that kind of thing. Let me see what else we have. I have all kinds of other ephemera for my nature journals, my botanical journals. That's that section. Botanical. We could use one of those tags if we wanted. I have a lot of Tim Holtz tags if we wanted to use those. Here's a belly band we could use. This ephemera, we could use it or not use it. It doesn't really matter. Here's a little journal library pocket. This is leftover ephemera from a different journal series. Here's a tag with a pocket. That's beautiful, and it's a shame we didn't use it. This is a paper that has a belly band and a journal card. That was a 365 idea, and we need to build those into other journals. These pockets we could use if they're not already made somewhere. I think I have some that are already decorated. We'll find out together. At one point, this bin was organized, and it's become less organized over time. There's some unfinished bases in here. I have some clusters, paper and fabric and lace. These are journal cards, or they could be pockets in all actuality. Those could be pockets. We'll see if we need those. I don't know that we do, but we'll see if we need them. I also have these 3 pockets, and we need to decorate those. I only need 2. Let's use those 2. Save that one. Actually, I do like that one. Let's use that. So I found some unfinished pockets. For page ruffles, if you didn't want to do lace, you could do this down the edges of pages. You could also tear or cut off just a little strip. This is ruffled music with glassine or onion skin paper back there. Here's ruffled book page. So you could sew yourself some paper ruffles and use those instead of lace down the page edges. There's a couple of those in there, and I've got shaker cards in here as well. Okay, done with that bin. Let's see what's in the other bin, because we need a lot more pockets for these journals. This is the bin where ephemera is going in both directions. So let's take a peek. I've got this finished decorated piece of ephemera. I have more. Oh, that actually is, this is French country. I'm in the French country section. Never mind. We'll be using that in French country journal, which I also will be working in today once we get the fairy ones going. All of this is French country. Yep, all of that is French country. Okay. Well, maybe I don't have very much more ephemera for fairies. We could possibly wrap that around for the fairy journal. It's the right colors. We'll see what else we find. And then I have these pockets. I've got one of those. That's really cute. And that could go in French country also. I'm going to pull that back out. We'll put that in French country. Oh, super cute. I'm finding all kinds of good ephemera. This is a really big pocket. You might find a place for that. All right. Well, I don't see. Oh, here it is. I'm like, I don't see. There it is. There it is. What is this? Oh, that would be cute. These, again, they might be French country. I don't know. I'm pulling from the wrong section. Pardon me while I redo all of my ephemera box while you guys are sitting here. Okay, I think we're in the French country section. I'm going to move that to the side. Let's work with what we have, and I need to go grab the other box of ephemera because I truthfully did not find very much fairy ephemera, and I don't know where I stuck it. So I'm going to go grab my other ephemera box. In the meantime, we have a lot, and I'll find more because there's 2 more boxes of ephemera. And the fairy things that I made are definitely in one of those. So that's where we're at now. Let me go grab the other box. Okay, Here's the other two. If I push this to the side, hopefully you guys will be able to see the other box of ephemera, maybe possibly. So in this one, these are the little paper clusters that I'll be decorating the page edges with. So we'll put those over there. I found some Valentine's Day tiny little journals that were made out of a greeting card. Those might be cute to put in the February journal. And I do have other little glassine, or these were laminated roses. Those would be cute as little pockets in that journal, or those fairy journals. So let's pull a couple laminated dried flowers out. Those are super cute. Here's some more. And these were designed as pockets. That one's also the right colors for these journals. So laminated flowers, let's use them. I actually like this one better. Okay, let's take that one out. Okay, so I've got plenty of laminated flowers. Let's see what else is in here. Here's the fairy things. So we could use this pocket. Actually, we could use both of those pockets. Or that one. We'll see which one looks best. Here's a little journal card. Didn't find a home. Ooh, here's another pink one, though. We're going to use the two pink pockets. I'm actually going to take both of those. That guy back. Let's see what else is in here. I've got Edith Holden, and you know Edith Holden is always good in fairy journals. I've got some little journal cards in here. All of these little journal cards would be good. I also have some tiny little word cards. There's another journal card. That's a little pocket. I think we'll keep that. Different journal. Different feel. Now I'm into nature journal. So all of my ephemera is kind of separated into sections. And the nature journal, botanical journal. Botanical is more like, you know, owls, mushrooms. There is flowers and butterflies in there. But that's all botanical ephemera. So we'll leave that. These are the botanical journals. We'll leave those for another day. Let's play with what we have in that one. And this is the last box. This is the last box. I know I have a ton of ephemera. So I'm saying, like, we don't really need to make that much. There's a little lace scraps and extra things. I've got some paper tassels that we made. And then on this side, I've got a bunch of undecorated bases. And those can be made into pockets. Here's a little fairy. There's a fairy. I knew there was fairy ephemera somewhere. All of that's fairy, 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 fairy. Little butterfly card. I've got some neutral ephemera if we need it. That's a little pocket, I believe. Both of these are big inserts for journals. I've got lace pockets if we need them. All kinds of other little journal cards and tags, and these can go in any journal, and that's why they're in here. Is because there's not a specific journal for them. They could go anywhere. That's a cute little folio to put inside of one. These we should put in there. That's a good journal card. We have to remember there's big journal cards in this pocket or in this box. All kinds of other ephemera. Love it. Love that we have so much. There's some more pockets. We could decorate up that pocket. This pocket is one of the folded ones. There's a different kind of one of those if we want. So much ephemera. Oh my gosh. I don't need to make that much, but we're going to have fun making whatever we end up making today. There's one of those again. Here's some layered stacked pockets. Oh my goodness, guys. There's so much ephemera in here. Look at those. Full of ephemera bits. And that's just one side of that box. There's a whole nother side of the box. So I have lots of things. We will not be wanting for things, but For fairies, I've got glassine bag, card, journal card. There's a rose pocket, cute little lady pocket. Is she a fairy? Oh my gosh, this is one of my most favorite tags I've ever made. I love it. So very cute and sweet. Here's another little butterfly card. This one's actually inked and paperbacked, so let's use that one and that one. Here's another glassine bag. So we have bag pockets for both. There's those pockets. There's those pockets with fairies. I have tons. We may have like millions of pockets in this journal. There's some wallpaper pockets. There's a music page pocket with a fairy. There's a gatefold. There's two of those. I know. I need to quit pulling things because there's no way we're going to get those all in the journal. But they're super cute. Super cute. There's that one. There's that one. There's some really large tags. Little folio if we want. I mean, that's a whole big pocket system. There's that one. And that has a bunch of pockets in it too. But I do need to quit pulling things because we're never going to get it all in there. So anyway, as you can tell, I have a lot of things that we could play with today. Oh my gosh, there's even more back there. Like I have these kind of little Tim Holtz ruffly lacy tags. Very cute. All right, well, we've got a lot. So I'm going to stop pulling things and stop showing you things. But there's a bunch more we could play with for sure. I've got napkin things back there. Anyway, putting the box away and we're going to have an avalanche and that's what we got. Uh-oh, and now I literally had an avalanche. All right, let's fix that situation. All right, all cleaned up. So the next part of this little craft thing is I can save a lot of that ephemera. And it's so the ephemera was made in the 365 series. There's over 180 of those videos where you can watch the short little 15, 20, sometimes it's 45 minutes, but mostly they're short videos where I have made most of this ephemera in there. The good thing about making ephemera all the time, and make it the way that you like to make it in whatever color palette you like. If you like to craft with mostly neutrals, make it with mostly neutrals. Tuck the ephemera aside, and then when you are working on one of the journals, usually you have a lot of already made ephemera, and then you just make a few things that are specifically tailored with fairies if you're making fairy journals or whatever the case may be. So just make ephemera. You know, when somebody does a video and it inspires you, just make the ephemera, tuck it to the side. You can make it undecorated or decorated. It doesn't matter. Like you could put the full focal point and everything on it if you want to, or not. It's up to you. Sometimes if you leave it a little bit undecorated, then you can just come in at the end and add that one little focal point and be good. So for 2 journals, I've got overkill, but we're going to just play and see what we can find. So go back over here to our first original piles of things and clusters. Sorry for being disorganized, but it is what it is. You guys know. So anyway, let's play. Let's start with things that are already done, like already made, and we'll place them. And then if there's something that I need to finish decorating or I need to make the tags for or whatever the case may be, we'll come back and do that. And then I do want to make some pockets with you guys today from scratch. So let's start with both. Let's try to do both at the same time. So I'm going to open it up and I'm going to find where I want to put the first pocket. I might use this one as a guide. It's not going to be identical to these two because these two have different papers and in different orders, whatever, but it's going to be very similar. So if I open up this one, because this one's already done, I can go to, okay, well, you put an element here and look for something to put on this page in these two journals, or I could just thumb through these ones and just find, places and put whatever I want to put wherever I want to put it. I don't know exactly what we're going to do, but we're going to place ephemera basically. I have a pre-made belly band and it's really cute and pink, and I think it definitely goes in this journal. So somewhere in here, let's place a belly band. Let's do it like this. Let's make a pile. So I'm going to put everything that I want to put in this journal in this pile, and everything I want to put in that one over there. So we're going to start with trying to figure out like belly bands and pockets, and we'll come back to like I know each one of these needs to go in the journal, right? Because we made 2 for that one. These are just extra journal cards, and we can leave that kind of stuff, but I want to start with pockets first, because we need to get the pockets where we want the pockets, and then we'll fill them with all of this lovely stuff. So let's set those over there because they're filler. They're not pockets. Now I know that we need to put a glassine bag in each one of these journals, and I've already made them, so they're good to go. Now this one was put in as a page tuck, like a tuck pocket, and I kind of like it over there, so let's do that. And then there's 2 of these pockets. Let's do the purple there and the yellow there for 2 of those pockets. So those are pre-made ones. There's this little music page pocket. And it really doesn't matter where I put them. There's a music one for that one. These are identical. And I'll show you in more detail also. I'm not trying to just skip past it right at the moment. Let's do that one there and that one there. Then I have things we could use as pockets, but don't necessarily have to at the moment. And I know you guys cannot see this pile. So we put one of these down and we put it, this is the one that's a tuck, and we put it over here. I like it like that. That's fine. Just making sure that everything is even. Now I have 2 of these, and they're really beautiful. Let's see if we need those. I don't know that we do, but let's see. There's a purple one of those, and somewhere there's a pink one. We'll find it eventually, but somewhere there's a pink one of these. These, I don't know that we need them for pockets, but if we do, these 3 here, these are all different ways of folding paper. If we need these, I have those ready that we could put in. This is a different kind of, so I do have extra pockets, and I'm kind of in that section where we just have a bunch of extra pockets. I think we'll do that one there and there. Nope, vice versa. And we'll see when we do the journal. But these are envelopes, and they just go in a pocket. I have extra ephemera, extra. These ones I definitely made for this journal. Then I have a ton of journal cards, and the journal cards, you could also cut those into tag shape if you wanted to. So I have a lot of that. Just looking for pockets right now. Okay, so then we're into the Edith Holden, and we have these ones. So there's more pockets. These ones. Journal cards. These ones if we need them. Okay, so there's a lot more over there, but we have a lot already. This is one set, and I want to do them as sets. So this was made by cutting up Edith Holden book page. They're very simple. You just cut up the Edith Holden book page, cut it into a pocket. cut it into a tag, and you make yourself a cute little set like that. Okay, so we've got several of them. Here's a different one. Very cute. And I also have some large pockets. And I think these should go in the botanical journal, in all honesty. Those are super cute for that. So let me tuck those into the botanical section. We can make sure we put those in there. But for today, let's do it like that. Okay, so that's a good start. Here's the other one of those. And I do have these that we need to finish if we're going to use them. That's cute too. So there's a lot here. Let's see where we are with this. Flip outs. Yeah, you want to make your journals have fun, interactive elements. It's kind of, it gets very static. I don't want to say boring, but it gets very static when all of your journal pages are exactly like just a plain page. You know, there's no flip outs, or people like to find out, oh, does this open? Oh, you know, does this expand? Does it flip over? So try, if you're making journals for yourself or to sell them, to put a few little interactive elements in each one. You don't need to go overboard, but adding flip outs, you can do that after the journal's already made. You could literally just attach it to the page edge and flip it out. So if you want to add little flip outs, super easy to do. Also using envelopes, gluing the flap to the page, and then the envelope will flip out. That's another super simple way of making flip outs. So, and that's been all done on videos too, but we're going to do it again in the February journal because I always have flip outs. So we'll do it again. Let's go through these now, kind of start placing things. My brain works better when I look at placing the same element at the same time in the same journal. So let's go through them. I'm going to try to do it on camera with y'all. I've got the two piles and I've got the two journals. Let's do it like this. Can't really see the pile, can you? I'm trying my hardest to get them on camera for you. Okay, kind of, you can see. This is a single thing. Like there's not the same belly band for this journal. So it actually does look cute in both of them. I'm going to set it to the side and we'll figure out which journal needs this, right? We'll figure out which one needs a little more whatever. But this is what I'm saying. So I've got two of these. I've got two journals. We're going to place both of them at the same time. So this one is first. We're going to flip it open. You can place a pocket, like you could place a pocket in there. You can't really see. You could place a pocket in there if you wanted to. That's actually really cute for that. You could do that right in there. I would have preferred to sew it in, but we didn't do that. So for now, I'm going to leave this to put on a page, and we're just going to flip our journal until we find a page that we like that on. That's actually not bad right there. We could do that. So I'm not going to stress about it. That's cute. It looks nice. I like the color combination. We could certainly do that. If I wanted to leave that to put a fairy, because I like the person when they open their journal to right away see the theme of the fairy carried into the journal. So I'm going to reserve this place for something with a fairy on it, just because that's how picky I am about it. But this is a very naturey page that you could put that on. That's okay there too, but the problem with me there is I'm covering up all of that beautiful flowers. So I'm going to wait, find a better page. This one is also very good. I think that goes there. You can still see, so the goal with placing a pocket, this is really important. The goal with placing a pocket is that you are putting a pocket on a page and still being able to see the beautiful page behind it. You're not trying to, like if I put it here, you're covering up like that beautiful page with all the flowers. If I put this here, you're covering up too much of the beauty. Could you do it? Yes. But try to find a page that A, goes with the colors that you have in your ephemera in your pocket, and where you put it in there and it doesn't cover up too much of the beauty. Now, yes, you could have journaled a little bit right there, but this page, this spread is too plain for me. The spread is the 2 pages, how you look at them and how you would use your journal. That's a spread. It's too plain to leave just like this for this little tiny added writing space. It's not really that important. You have this whole page of writing space. This pocket and tag are going to go right there. They're going to look great. So that's that one. Now let's go into this journal. And we already know I want to save this for a fairy, for something to show the person. Fairy journal, fairy journal. I like to do it right on that first page so they know this is a fairy journal. And so we're going to look at placing it in the same spot, and that's easy. This is why I like to make 3 journals at a time. You know that a pocket looks good right there, so you're just going to put it there. Super simple, right? We did that. We did that. Okay, next one. We have these. We have these. We don't actually, there's too many pockets in this pile. We don't have to use them all. Because these could be used or they could be saved for other journals, I'm going to set them to the side for just a moment. We'll come back and look at those to see if we need to use them. There's these as well. And so for those of you who don't understand what I'm doing with this, this is a cluster, a paper cluster with a dried flower that I've laminated, and I've cut it really big where the lamination sticks out over around it, around your cluster. And I did that so that I could put this in a journal, and I could put it even in the front right here. I could put it right there, and it could become a tuck pocket. Because the lamination is thick and sturdy, you could add it just as a fun little interactive element, right? It doesn't have to be a pocket, but we have them, and I think we could use them as pockets, like right there. That's a perfect place for it. It's got the colors, it all matches, it looks lovely. And again, there's a place right here for a pocket. It's a hole. You see that there's open space right there. It's a place for a pocket. So we could put that right there. It can be a tuck pocket. Let's do it. It looks great. Let's move on to do this one. We're going to do exactly the same thing. Do you have to do the same thing? No. Does it hurt to do the same thing? You got to keep in mind, the person that buys this journal isn't going to probably buy that journal unless they want to. So it's okay to do things in order, like for the same, the same pocket goes on the same page, because 2 different people are going to buy these journals. So there's that one on that page. Love that. Okay. These, I definitely want to stick in these journals. They really go with them. They could go in a pocket, but we're going to place them in there. So I'm going to look in this one, and I'm going to find a place. Now, we could put a fairy right here, and if it matched the page, you could put it there. But it's kind of too busy for that. So now we're looking for another page that we can put this one. And ideally, you want 6 pockets in the front of your journal signature and 6 pockets in the back of your journal signature. Does it have to be that way? No. But it's a nice way of balancing out your journal. Something needs to go here. This could be a clip-in pocket. It's decorated on the back. We could clip that right there, and that way you're not taking away, because this is journal space. If I glue this down, I'm taking away most of that journal space. It's decorated on the back. We could clip it right there, and that way the person still has their journal space. So that's what I'm doing with that one. Now we're moving on, and we're going to find that same pocket and do it in the same place in this one. Why am I putting it here? Because this is really plain. I can't really glue it here. I mean, in this one, you can still see music. That would be okay in this one, but I think clipping it is also fun. So we're going to paper clip that in there. There's that one. Next, we have these pockets, and these are fairy pockets. They have fairies on them. If you guys have questions for me, yell it out in all caps, and I'll try to slow down and answer your questions. But these are little file folder flip down pockets. They get glued on 3 sides on the back here. and it gets glued to the page. That creates a pocket right there. And then I just take a little paper clip and paper clip this little part here. You don't have to paper clip it, but I like, and it just folds down for journal space. So let's find a place for that one. So we've got a lot going on in the front of that signature. I need to find where my middle page is. This is my middle page. And I want to make sure that I'm not adding too much ephemera in the front part of that. So that's really beautiful. I don't really want to add pockets over it. That's also really beautiful, but a pocket could go there. That's okay. A pocket could go there. Let me see if I can find another spot. Pocket could go right there. We're going to stencil this bag. In the journal that's finished, this bag is stenciled. And I brought that in here to do. I don't know if we want to do it, but... And we're adding journal space right there, so I don't mind covering up journal space. I'm going to leave that for now, though. I'm going to look for a better spot. It's really just feel. After you make a million journals, you'll get a feel for where pockets need to go. That's okay. Not my favorite color combination. It's okay. A pocket will have to go there, but I don't know if this is the pocket for it. What about there? I think that's the place for that one. So let's leave that one there. That looks good. Let me find my center again. I'm always checking the center because I know there's a specific way I like to put my pockets in. And I'm checking to make sure that there's a pocket close to the center without being on the center. So that's okay. That's good. We're all right. Let's do this one. And I know I'm going fast, or trying to at least, but it's because I want to do a lot of things. See, that looks nice. It adds to the page and doesn't take away. It's perfect. So let's do those. These things can clip on the page or go in a pocket. They're just pre-done little envelopes. It's like a digital you print and they make envelopes. So we'll add those here in a second, possibly. These are pockets, little bird pockets. Let's see about adding those. And we also have to add things to the back half of the signature. So while I'm loading up that front half right now, we will have to add to the back. And there's extra ephemera back there for that. So I'm not stressed about it, but I'm just mentioning, don't forget about the back half of your signature. Don't add all your favorite pieces in the front and leave yourself with nothing to add in the back. That looks pretty good. So we could add a pocket here. That's one place that needs a pocket, or could have a pocket. I'm leaving that because this bag is going to be decorated. Like that bird would look really good right there. That's a possibility. That's also a possibility for a pocket. That looks pretty good. Let's leave that there. I like that there. Okay, so now we're going to go to this one. And why did I switch which color I put there? I couldn't answer that. It just looks good a certain way to my brain, and that's what I do. So we're going to add this blue one over here, right there. Okay. And I'll thumb hole punch those and make those actual pockets. So these next couple pieces, there's another one of these somewhere. I need to find it. These two pieces here, they're meant to clip in or go in a pocket. So they have journal cards or tags on the back of them. And then they have pockets and tags on the front. This is a 365 video project idea. And so they have ephemera already in them. They're already decorated. but they're clip-in pockets. And because we did a clip-in in the front, I will do a clip-in in the back. I just want to wait a moment for those. So let's wait a moment. I want to work on filling up the front half of my signature first. Not for any particular reason other than that's just the way I like to do it. So we still needed the fairy element for here. And I do have these big pockets. They have a journal card, a tag in them that has a fairy. I can't get it out at the moment, but it has a fairy on it. And that gives us, boom, we're doing a fairy journal, right? Like it's in your face fairy journal. How many paper clips are too many? Can you have too many paper clips? I don't think you can. I love all the clip-in ephemera, and I think if you're selling journals, people also love all the clip-in ephemera. Using paper clips gives people a bunch of extra ephemera that they can move and place wherever they want. So I don't think there's any problem with too many paper clips. I don't think there is. The only problem I see here is that it might be a little hard to get to this tag if the pocket is on the left. I would prefer this pocket to be on the right so that the edge of the page allows you to get to that tag easier. So for that reason, I'm going to place this pocket in a different location. Let's look at the back half of the signature for just a moment. Well, no, I will not. Never mind that. I lied. We're going to wait. I keep saying we're waiting. We're going to wait. So I'm going to take both of those and put those over there for waiting. This is the back half of the signature. Okay, we're to music pocket pages. I could put that right there. That's not bad. It's okay. The other option for putting something that's fairy in the front would be that. And I don't love the way that looks. And the last option I have over here for a fairy pocket is a glassine bag. And I do like that right there. So I'm going to do the glassine bag with the fairy on it in that front part right there. So let's get the other glassine bag and place it in the front on this side. So there's the other one. Super cute, this Florentine paper back there, and it'll have a big tag that is also decorated like fairy in there. So that's good for those. Now let's do these music ones because they need to find a home. We need to count how many pockets we have in the front. So far we have 1. We have 2 pockets. We have 3 pockets. We have 4 pockets. And I know we have 5 pockets, 6 pockets. So I have 6 pockets in the front part of that signature. And that's where I want to stop. I'm not saying you can't put more, but 6 in the front is going to give you a really nice, full, fluffy, full fluffy journal. This is 6 in the front and 6 in the back. So that's going to give you a nice fluff. Because you got to remember, you got to fill with ephemera. So 6 in the front. We're good. Let's focus on the back. I'm not saying I won't move things around, but let's focus on the back for a moment. All right, we're trying to find a place for these music pockets. That one does look really nice right there. I'm going to leave that one there. That's okay. Let's see if I have a better place for that one. I actually really like her there. So I'm going to do those music ones on that page. Where's my music one? Right there. Music. Back half of the signature. And we're looking for this page. There we go. There's that one. Okay. Next, I have these fairy tucks. I really like these. These could be journal cards, right? They're backed with copy dyed cardstock. They could be journal cards, but I'm going to put them in and clip off that corner and make them a tuck. So they could go in the front if I wanted to change something, but I'm going to put them in the back. There's my center. We have a pocket there. We want to go more towards the very back of the journal this time. We could put it there. That's okay. You could even put it back there. I don't want to cover up so much of that, but you could put it there. That's an option. Let's see what else we have. Could put it there. I don't want to cover that up too much. Not going to cover that one up, although that is really botanical and cute in there, but I'm not going to cover that. Don't want to cover that one either. The problem is when you use your favorite pages, you end up liking them so much that you don't want to cover them. That's a good option for that one. This is a better option. We're going to have a big full page element right here, so that's not going to be blank, but I mean, you could even put that there. Still looking. Could put it there on the back side of that music. You could put it there on the front side of the music. I'm going to go right here. This is challenging. Where do I want it? That's way too busy. Okay. Let's try. Sorry. Momentary indecision. I really like it there too. Let's add it back here. There's going to be something here. Dang it. I'm going to add it here. I know I've gone back and forth. I'm adding it right there. That's where that's getting added. It's getting glued to the page, and it will be a tuck pocket back there. So in the music, sorry about that. It took me a moment. The music. And I could look at the other journal and place these exactly where I placed the other ones. I'm just not doing that with y'all today. That's where that one's going. Moving on. I need to place these. These, they can be glued in. They can be tucked in a pocket. I have these pockets left. So let's worry about those for a moment. Going to the middle part of my journal again, looking at that back signature. I've got this wallpaper pocket that's really cute right there. Wallpaper pocket. That's good. Now this wallpaper pocket. And that's going to go on the same page in the back half of the journal. Wherever my back half of my journal is. Right there. Perfect. And both of those look beautiful. Okay. So next I have the glassine pockets. These are glassine, not glassine, vellum pockets with Florentine paper underneath. Let's place those. So there's where I left off. We've got one there. Trying to check in and fill in holes. We have one there, but honestly, we need something in this area. That's good right there. Let's do that one on that page. So it's the pinky page. The pinky page. Where's that pink page? Right there. Perfect. Love it. Good. Next, we have, these go inside of pockets, or they could clip, but I think I'm going to put them in a pocket. So let's leave those for going inside of a pocket. Now we have a couple other things I want to place. These right here, there's two of them. They wrap around a page. They just wrap around the edge of a page. They have tabs on them, so we need to place them where that tab is going to stick out of a journal, right? And we might need to fold it backwards. We'll have to figure that out. But there's the tab for this one. So let's place these. And I like to place that kind of a flip out thing back here in the back. So this one would go like that, and then you would flip it open like that. You can journal back there if you want to. That's the way that one looks on that page. I mean, it's the same page in either journal, and that's the way this one looks, where it would flip out this way. You could add pockets in there if you want. That one's actually really sweet in that journal. I'm going to leave that one right there, and we're going to add the other one back here. It's the same thing, same page, but in my mind, it looks different with each journal. Don't ask me why. I couldn't explain it. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. If I missed a question, just keep yelling at me. I will try to come back and catch it. Okay, so we have these. The dried flower pockets. We need to count how many pockets we have in the back so I know how many more to add. There's one right there. There's two. There's three. There's four. I know we need to do something to that one. Four. Only five so far. So I have this little bit right here. And we need to cover this whole page with something. And I have these. These can clip in right there. Or we could scoot it in just a little bit and make it a pocket this way. And I think we can glue this down right here to cover that blank page. You could leave it as a clip in so they could write right there. You could. But on this one, I doubt that this page in the other journal is blank. So we could clip it here for this journal, but we might have to glue it in the next one is my point. Let's leave it there and we'll figure that out in a moment. And I do like that it is very similar paper across. I like that. So let's do the other one. This is the other one. Let's find that page over here. Where is it? Right there. And it is blank mostly on that one. But see, like for this one, I would want to scoot it in and glue it down. So that's what I'm going to do with there. Okay, good. We still have these, but that was number 6. So let me count one last time and make sure my pockets are good where they're at. For this process, the verification of pocket placement process, I like to look at one single journal at a time and make sure that I don't want to move things within this journal. So we're just going to do a quick flip through. That's going right there, and I am happy with that. That looks good. It's got good color. We're going with that one. This one I know I love. That's number 2. For the front part, that's number 2. This is number 3. That's clip-in number 4. If we need one, that's where it's going. You see me struggle. So we had 4 right there. This is 5. And this is 6. Now the problem there is we're adding it to both sides of the paper. And I really don't like to do that because it makes the paper very heavy, especially when you put ephemera in your pockets. So I did not realize that that's what we were doing as we were doing this process. So I'm going to back that out of there and I'm going to see if I can do it here. That's why verification is good. We could do it there. It's beautiful there. But do I think maybe we could do better? I don't know. I really like this one. The problem is we already have this laminated pocket right there, and it's like too laminate, close to laminate. So maybe we will do the bird there. So I do have 6 pockets in the front, and I'm happy with the placement. We didn't have any other, pocket on 2 sides of the paper. So I'm good with the front. I'm going to check the back real quick. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. 5. And that very back one is 6. But what I'm seeing is there is a section missing, possibly missing here. I mean, you could move it around, but maybe this one goes back here somewhere. I actually do like that. So I'm going to move that one to the back. Just a couple pages back, because we have a lot going on in this little section here. We don't really need it. So I've evened it out a little more and moved it to the back. We're good with that one. He's all good. He can get glued in. Now we're going to look at this one and just make sure for that one. How many digitals do I use per signature? Well, it depends on how many signatures you're going to have, because in multiple, so these are single signature journals. These are single. In a single signature, I'm going to use 8 to 10. I mean, I add a lot of other pages, so generally I use 8. But if you're not adding in all those other pages that I add in on top of it, you're probably going to want to aim for 10. If you're doing a journal where you're just using digitals for pages, then 15. You want 15 of those big pages, like digital size pages. You want 15 total. So if you're doing more than one signature, the more signatures you put in a journal, the less pages you want per signature. So while I'm aiming for 15 full-size pages in a single signature, you cannot do 15 pages per signature if you're doing 5 signatures. I mean, you could, but it's not advisable. Your signatures, the more signatures you have, the less pages you put per signature. Hopefully that answers. Okay, hold on. Let's keep going. We've got 1, 2. That's this one here, 2. I can't flip pages anymore. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. We got the same problem. So now we're at 5. Oh my goodness. So if I move that one from that one, we only have 5. Why do we only have 5? 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so in this one, I only have 5. You could, but it's covering up the most beautiful part of that. I don't know why I only have 5 in here. I've missed one somewhere. I know we have the glassine. I know we have that one. Oh, I'm not counting that. It fell in there, right there. There's 6. I think. I'm gonna count it again. You guys are gonna yell at me. 1. There's 2. Oh my goodness. Some days. There's 3. I think I was missing that one because it was falling in. 4, maybe. Nope. Still 5. 5. Yes. So I am missing a pocket up here in the front. Who was watching along and pays attention to what pocket I am missing? We've got one, and this is the second one. This is the third. This is the fourth. We added it there to the inside of the blue page. Goodness me, oh my. Where's the blue page? I need to find the blue page. Why am I not finding the blue page? Oh my gosh. I might be losing my mind. We're starting at the front. I maybe have the papers different. We talked about adding it there. That one's got a pocket. Somebody needs to be paid right there. Thank goodness. Okay, I found it. All right, so now we have 6 in the front. I'm so sorry. I made that way more difficult than it needed to be. Okay, we need to find the middle, and we need to count in the back. Just to make sure we've got 6. We've got 1. I have a gnat flying around. 2. 3. And 4. Are you a mosquito trying to bite me? Like, seriously, go away. 5. Y'all know I can't count anymore, so that gnats can't distract me. There's 6. Okay, now in this one, we moved something. So that the back was more evenly spaced. And I want to do the same in this one because there's one element right here, but then we have a bunch of pages where there's really nothing. We moved this and we put it here. And I'm going to do the same thing in that journal. So they're done. They're done. Now we have extra pockets. I have quite a few extra pockets. And I have all of the things, like we could clip these in. If I find a place where it's like super boring and I want to add extra, we could clip those in, no problem. And then I have tags that also get clipped in. And the reason they could go in pockets, they're okay, but they do have a back pocket back here too. You can journal on that back pocket. So we have some other things that could get clipped in. If I find a place for these, I will put these in there. I think they look great, but let's try to, we could keep on with these, or let's keep on with these. Because if I move to, what time is it? It's 2 hours and 20 minutes in. What would you guys like me to do? We could keep on with these, and I could pick out the ephemera to go on the page, but honestly, I do like to have the pockets glued in first. And if I glue in pockets, we'll be here for 30 minutes while I'm gluing in pockets. What would you guys like to do next? Because I have ephemera to put in these. Once I put the ephemera in, they really just need laces on the edges and bottoms. And then they need the little clusters and washi and all that added to pages. Excuse me. I have a tickle in my throat now. I'm going to try to tuck that in a little bit more. It needs a little glue to tack it down, I think, to where I'm happy with it. A little extra ruffle right here. It's just bothering me, so I'm going to fix it. Okay. So a little extra Fabri-Tac right here, just to kind of hold that right on the edge there. And I want to fix the ruffling just so I'm happier with it. I want it to come out, but I also want it to go in. There we go. It's a little less like sticking out. A little less in your face. I don't know how to explain that. a little less crazy looking right there. To you guys, it probably meant nothing, but to me, it just needed to change a little bit right there. And I just added a little bit more ruffle. And I could poke it in right there too, actually. Now that I've done it, we're going to poke it in right there. Perfect. And I'm not, again, not looking for that super flat hold. I'm just looking for it to not interfere with the edge of the journal. I might finish, probably not, because I don't have unlimited time, but we have these near completion. This one is basically done. I have a few more things I want to do to it, but I mean, they do get super full of ephemera. And we used some of the same elements, but we placed them in different places. And then I used elements that we didn't put in at all. Like we did put this one in. We didn't put this one in. There wasn't an over the page. This is the same kind of pocket. There's the same kind of pocket. So I do put the same things if I happen to make 3 of them. But if I didn't make 3, then we just put whatever. There's where we put that big scrappy pad. We put it down in that bag. And we put one of these bird cards. And I have more of those. So we can move some things around. There. See, I did put that in exactly the same place. That's good. And then the reason why is, again, I wanted this tag to be able to come out from the right so that you could get it. If I put it here, you'd be trying to get your fingers in there to get that tag out. So just kind of keep that stuff in mind of, where you're putting things. Let's see, that was a different pocket. You're enjoying watching it. I need to find these to put in the ledger. So when I count pockets, just so y'all know, when I count 6 pockets, that doesn't include anything that's sewn into the signature. So this is an envelope. It's sewn into the signature. It is a pocket. I filled it with ephemera, but I don't count that because that's part of the signature. This one right here, that's a fold up ledger pocket. That's part of the signature. It's sewn in, so I don't count it. I always add way more ephemera and way more pockets and pocket options to my journals than what most people do, or probably what is absolutely necessary. But I like giving people options. So the more ephemera that I make and add into a journal, the more ephemera the buyer of the journal has to play with. It doesn't mean they have to keep it in this journal. They could take out half of this ephemera and they could add their own or something else that they like. But if they wanted to leave it in, they could. They could take this out and put it in a different journal. So, I like to add more. I think more is better than less. So, and I purposely left some places where you can come in here and you can add something. You could journal in here. It's light enough where you could journal a little bit on the pages. So for those of you concerned about, do I leave enough journal space? I always leave coffee dyed pages, and I always make sure that there's some other place that you could journal, just so you don't feel like I'm cramming them. But honestly, most people like to buy crammed journals. They do, because they know, you understand how much time it takes to make this stuff. So the more handmade pieces I can put in a journal, the more time that it took me to make them, the better for the buyer of the journal, unless you're charging $1 million, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and stencil those. Let's stencil those paper bags because that's still working in this journal. And I need to get it done so I can put these scrappy pads in there. So we can stencil the paper bag that's sewn into the signature, and then we'll put these little scrappy pads in there. And we need to decorate them too, but let's stencil. Now, ideally, you would not be bad and you would not stencil. You would have stenciled before you sewed your bags in. If you were smart, you would have stenciled these paper bags right here. You would have stenciled them long before now. But I needed to make these journals in a certain format and in a certain time frame, and they didn't get stenciled. They're stenciled in this one. I shouldn't say they. It is stenciled in this one. So this is what we're looking at doing right here. We need to stencil this bag. You need to make sure you stencil the edge back here, the whole bag, front and back. Ideally, you stencil it before you even sew it in your signature. If you're bored today, pull out some paper bags and stencil them. And then they're ready to go and you're ready to put it in your signature. But in the back part of this, we actually decorated that bag and added, where am I? Right here. We put a pocket here. We decorated the front of the bag right here, and you could have made that a pocket. I just didn't. But we decorated the front of the bag. We left the back plain for journaling. It's still nice with that. And we put this little scrappy pad in there. So let's get that done before I just forget and then somebody buys a journal with a white bag and I would be mortified. But so I keep my stencils on one of the giant binder rings. It's easy for me to flip through them and figure out which one I need. I need this one right here, but I like to keep them in the bags. I think it protects them. I hate when companies do this. They stick the sticker on and I'm like, but why? Why did you have to put the sticker there? And you know you cannot peel that sticker off. So anyway, for companies listening, not that anyone does, but lots of us like to keep our stuff in the original packaging as long as we can. When the packaging tears, then, you know, obviously you're done keeping it in it. But preferably we don't have a giant sticker on the front of the packaging. Let's use this and tuck it in there so I can stencil right here. So I want to make sure that I've covered the page behind my bag. I'm going to stencil today with Victorian Velvet. And this is not the oxide, this is the ink. So Victorian Velvet. I'm using the Tim Holtz. I think this is Dahlia or something. I just took it out of the package. I'll tell you in a moment. But I'm going to stencil with that. Your pharmacy bags. Yeah, for sure. You can cover them with pretty paper. And you know another good option for the pharmacy bags? Stenciling texture paste, sprays. I'm just collaging Tim Holtz ephemera on them. And I am aware of what's happening right now. I have already pre-ordered mine. I will fill you all in here in about 30 minutes if you don't know what I'm talking about. If you do know what I'm talking about, thank you for watching me. Thank you all for watching me. But at the end of this live, I will tell you what I pre-ordered and why I'm talking about it. Okay, anyway. I'm going to do my best to hold this down. I'm not going to tape it. Like I said, it is much easier to do this when your journal is flat and doesn't have ephemera in it. But if you're like me and you've already, you know, you're here and this is the situation, then you're just going to go with it. So I'm going to attempt to lightly go in the beginning because I just inked this brush. And if you've ever gotten too crazy, and sorry for my hair, if you've ever gotten too crazy and inked your brush and then took it right into your stencil, then you will be unhappy. And so I'm trying to use light pressure in the beginning, and I'll come in and adjust here in a moment. If you mess up your stenciling, Tim Holtz's stencils anyway, they are very forgiving. Yes, they have a pattern. Yes, you can line them up. See, like I just moved it. You can line that back up. You guys might not be able to see. See, it's off. You line it back up where you're not seeing any white, and then you keep going. They're very forgiving. He has great stencil designs. And if you mess up your stenciling, it's not a big deal. You can cover the bag if you absolutely hate it. You could try re-stenciling, but they're very forgiving. So there I've added a light stencil color all over the whole thing. Now these are flowers, and I like to either add darker ink in the flower centers or darker ink in the petals and leave the centers lighter. It just depends, but I'm just going to add a little darker here or there. And I'm not going to care too much, and I'm going to move it on. Now you'll notice that this little edge right here, you really can't get in there, especially when you've done it like I have. And I'm going to show you how to fix that here in just a second. But we have the rest of this bag that needs stenciled. We don't want to just leave it striped. So you could line up your little stencil to something, to some little petal, to somewhere, and try to stencil over there. But I'm not going to. I'm not going to care. I don't care that it's not lined up. You shouldn't care that it's not lined up. It's all good. Just stencil around about, like I said, they're forgiving. Stencil around about where you know the bag is. Add your little dark flower centers if you want to. If you care about that. I like to just add a little darker here or there. And there you go. Now, if you see too much right here and you're like, oh, I don't like that. If you see too much of a line, go in and just blur out that line in a couple of places. And there you go. Better, right? Now, this little area here, he can be kind of a pain. You can try. Doesn't always work well. Honestly, it's about 50-50, whatever. You can try to cover that area. I just lost my pocket. You can try to cover that area with something to mask it off. And then just go in with your stencil brush and add a little bit of color here or there in that crack. Be careful not to get it on the page behind it. But just kind of add a little in that crack. And you can blend out some of that white if you want to too. You didn't quite get dark enough in there. And now we've got too dark. Luckily, it's kind of like a flower center, so I'm okay with it. And there's that. Yeah, we have some hot spots for sure. For sure we do. Now I'm going to need to make that look intentional. If you mess up, you're just going to make it look like, oh no, I didn't mess up. That was intentional. Oh, see, that was too dark. You're just going to make it look intentional. There we go. A little more intentional. A little bit more. And again, I think we put a entire design on this anyway, but there's an overview. Hot spots? No, it's just flower centers. Got yours pre-ordered? We're going to talk about that at the end, at the very end. Okay, so we got to stencil the other side now. I don't have any space on this desk, but we got to stencil the other side. So we're going to put that there. Cover that back page. We're going to do the same thing. You could try to get it, like press it in there. We might be able to get some of it, but honestly, it's really hard to do it in the crack like that. If you mess it up, it's not the end of the world. Nobody really cares. It's all good. People stress about way too many things in their life, and I'm trying to do a better job of not stressing. If you're not familiar, the little brush that I'm using is just a little cheapy makeup brush from Amazon. I'm going to try to get in there a little bit more. Better. I did get it closer to the edge that time. Then we have to stencil out the outside here. And I'll come in and make those little centers a little better too. And just circular, but don't be too harsh with it because you'll bend your little stencil. And these little Mylar stencils, once you've bent them, I think they're Mylar, I don't know what they are. But if you bend them, they very rarely go in the flow of the petals, right? They very rarely come back. So you don't want to bend them. And so if you need to blend out a line, here we go. And then we're going to make these centers darker. And I'm just going to kind of line that up and go back in there. Doesn't even have to be where the real flower center is. Like, it's so forgiving. It doesn't really matter. And we're just going to create one right there because I don't know where it is. So we're going to create one right there. Good enough. And it's not that I don't care. It's that you just got to get things done. And honestly, I think it looks great. I think it looks fine. We're going to put stuff on it. It's going to be great. It looks lovely. It's decorated. If you want to, on the paper bag specifically, run it over that little serrated edge at the end. That's also a nice touch. And you could, if you wanted to, ink your edges a little bit. But honestly, that's fine. We do have the other half back here, and we have a whole nother one to do too. Oh, that is the back one. No, that is the front one. Yep, right there. So we're going to quickly do this one. If you don't have, this is parchment paper that I'm using. If you don't have parchment paper, just a plastic packaging, like the little bag that paper pads come in or whatever, you could use that too. And I am going to try to squish that in there. I don't know if I love the squishing it in method. It works a little bit, but if there's too much ephemera on the other side, then it causes problems. Oop. Yeah. I like playing with different things though. How many of you guys like to do embossing? How many of you like to do stenciling? And how many of you never do it? Right? How many like it and how many never do it? Let me know. Yeah, we're not mentioning it anything else until the end. Yep. You're going to have to wait till the end, the very, very end. We're not talking about it until the very end for a deliberate reason. All right, so there's that. We're going to line that up and get that stenciled. And we'll be lighter there where it meshes together. That's good. Let's blend out that right there. That's great. A little flower petal there. Love it. Right there. Okay, so all I need to do is darken a couple flower centers. And then we're good to move to the other side. I know, I shouldn't mention it because I know not everyone will understand why we need to wait till the end. Not everyone will, you know, follow the leader here. Some of you try to jump ahead. There we go. Let's darken a couple of those quick. I can't get that one because it's in the crack and it's bothering me. We're just going to add our own flower center right there. Better. Love it. I always share with you guys. You guys know that. There's just a time to do it. And that time is coming. So let's cram it in there and try. How many stencil? How many use all the texture paste? How many love that stuff? You were embossing yesterday? That's good. I love using all the different things. It's so much fun. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, you got to do it so perfect. No, you don't. Well-made products are so forgiving. And Tim's stuff is always forgiving and well-made. All right, let's darken these. Perfect. And there we go. Love it. Beat a little dark. So like there's no flower center really there, but you can tell by looking at the design that it needs to have one there. So we just add what we need, right? That's okay. It doesn't have to really be there. It needs to exist when the product is done. So there it is. Yay, did it. Love it. Happy. You love stenciling, forget to do it. I know. Theoretically, and this, some people are going to yell at me for saying this statement, but theoretically, every junk journal should have some stenciling, some stamp. So stenciling, this is a formula. Every junk journal should have some stenciling, some stamping, and some kind of multimedia paste, texture paste, gesso, pasty stuff, the Nuvo pasty stuff. Every junk journal should have those three things. It should have some stenciling, stamping, and pastes. Somebody out there is going to leave me a really unfun comment about that one, but that's my opinion. You do you, obviously. I don't know where this pocket fell out of, but we're going to find it, and we're going to put it back together. So in this journal, where is that little pocket? It's in the front, right there on that page. So where is it? It's right here. No, it's not right there. It's somewhere. Right there. That's where that pocket goes. Okay, so this one is stenciled. Glassine bags are pretty... You can put them through an embossing folder, but they do break very easily. I have done that before for you guys in videos, but you have to be careful with the pressure on glassine because it's so delicate. You can also coffee dye them with lace, but again, you have to be very, very careful with them. And glassine likes to stick together when it has coffee, because coffee inherently, just plain coffee is a little bit sticky when it's dried. You enjoy mixed media? Just because it's difficult? It's not really difficult, it's messy. Diana, that's so funny. That's so funny. We're talking stamp embossing or regular embossing, but what I was specifically talking about is embossing with like the little powder and the gluey stamp stuff that you stamp in. It was that heat embossing. Like, yes, heat embossing. Yeah. I encourage you guys to play with your things because most of us buy all the stuff. We buy the stuff to do all the things. But you know those pastes that you buy, if you don't use them, they really do expire pretty quickly, especially because I'm in Arizona. Like, that stuff dries out. It dries out fast. So just start using it. I think you guys will like that. The journals will have much more depth to the decoration, and you guys will like the process of doing it. So I think it'll be fun. I am going to stencil this one, but only because at this point one's done and one's not done, and yeah, I know it takes time, but I'm just going to do it. Hopefully you guys don't get upset about that. We have 10 minutes. No, we have 15 minutes. 15 minutes. So anybody that has questions, now's the time. Now's the time for questions. If you guys would like me to, spill the beans, just wait. Give me about 10 minutes and I'll spill the beans. Most of you know, but a lot of you didn't know about the last time this happened, and you end up missing out. And that's why I'm telling you today, so you don't miss out. I mean, hopefully you don't miss out. And then we'll all craft with it together and we'll have a good time. Because when I use it in videos, if y'all missed out on it, usually people are not too happy about that. They're like, well, why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, well, I did. But it was in some live that you didn't watch. Usually that's the way that plays out. So I'm going to tell you today. No one will miss out, and we'll all have the same thing, and we'll all craft together. There is a journal series coming that we're going to want to use that or something else. But there's a journal series that kind of matches that, planned for 2026. I know. I need to shut up teasing you guys too much. Some of you like the tease and you enjoy it, and other ones are like super annoyed. Super annoyed with it. Okay, there's that one. The corner is almost perfect. Just need a little petal right there. Yes, perfect. Next side. A scrap piece of cardstock. That might be a good way to keep it together. I'll have to try that. I just adjusted my pressure. I'm going to try that. That's a good way. Also, I think making a bag out of vellum, I think vellum holds up better than like the glassine bags. I think vellum is a little stronger of a plasticky material. I need some dots right there. Okay. If you just would do this before you sewed it in, you could just do the whole bag and not have to move your stencil 50 million times and all that kind of stuff. So much easier. Be a good crafter and don't do as I did, do as I say. Oh, that sounds terrible. Sounds like my mother. How did we do? We did just about perfect. Right there. I think I can live with that. All right, so half done. One more. Thank you for sitting with me while we stencil. What I would suggest doing to make life a little easier, you know, the stamping that I'm talking about doing is ink stamping with like rubber or silicone stamps. Pull out your favorite stamps. If you can get yourself to do this, then I applaud you. But you know how stamp sets have a bunch of different stamps in them, and how usually we only like 2 or 3 or 4 of the stamps on that stamp set? If you can get yourself to get over doing this, pull the favorites that you like to use out of your stamp sets, put your stamp sets away, and just keep a bin of all your favorite stamps right in front of you on your craft desk. Having all of your favorites, your most used stamps in front of you, not having to worry about each little stamp set and putting it back each time in the right stamp set. It is so freeing to have all of that time back and not have to look for each stamp every time, right? The only problem is you're going to have stamp sets laying around in some drawer somewhere that have some missing stamps because you put them in a little container because they're your favorite. Again, if you can get over it, it's the best way to do it, because then your most favorite stamps are right there in front of you. You do not have to worry or care what stamp set they came from or where you're putting it back. It's just easier. Much easier to do it that way. Yes, because they're kind of like, you know, we have hundreds of stamp sets, a lot of us, and it's kind of like, do I want to get them all out? And then I got to clean them all and put them all away. You know, cleaning stamps is kind of overrated. Give them a quick little wipe off with a wet cloth and be done with it, if you even do that. And then throw them in a bowl or a basket or a box or something, a Ziploc bag, if nothing else, and just keep them right at hand. So much easier. That's pretty good. I was worried it was going to be too light. That's pretty good. How can I line this back up? It's right there. So many of us have that like full set syndrome where if like we take a stamp out of something and it's not a full set anymore, then we start freaking out. Oh, darn, where's that stamp? And, you know, you got to worry about putting it all back away and cleaning it, making it perfect and whatever. And I definitely have that. But what I'm saying is if you can get over it, it's better. That's really hot right there. Let's blend that in. Got a pretty significant line on that one. And I'm doing my best to try to blend it better. We're going to decorate that one anyway, so I'm not going to have to worry about it. Let's do this side. Stenciling is fun. It's something that, honestly, if you have grandchildren that are old enough to craft, you could give them some paper bags, some white paper bags. Give them some stencils and give them a little, they like using these. Give them a little brush and tell them to have fun. You'll end up with some bags that you might need to, you know, do a little work on or whatever. But honestly, grandkids like to craft too. And you can get them to stencil some bags for you. And then your bags are all ready to go. And you didn't have to spend the time doing it. Plus, you know, you got to enjoy the time with your grandkids. So I don't know. Stenciling is a grandkid activity. There's nothing dangerous about it. That one's really light. Let's go ahead and add a little more detail there. Love it. Cool. Well, I got my ephemera placed. I got my covers decorated. What else did I do? I stenciled this bag, or these bags. We've got some space over here. And we've got to get in there. Pretty good. All right. Yay. Happy. Done. Done. I have some inky fingers. It's a good day when you have inky, gluey fingers. It's a good day. I'll clean that stencil because that's who I am with the stencils. Okay. Let me show you what we did. We basically got to this point. This one's pretty much done. This one just needs ephemera and pockets and stuff glued. I mean, we placed the pockets. So I will glue them all in and finish these up, and then I'll do a flip through. I don't think we need to do any more work together on them. But when we do another craft with me next weekend on Saturday, I'll be working in the French country or the botanical, or maybe both. I meant to make a pocket with you guys, but we didn't make a pocket either. I keep saying we're going to make a pocket, and we didn't make a pocket. We did other things. Hopefully it was fun. I'm going to switch this camera back around, and I'm going to tell you guys the little thing that I think you probably want to order. Yes, not to be a neurotic raccoon. That's so funny, Shauna. That's exactly the way I think of it, and I think most people do, right? Okay, so I'm going to flip this camera back around. We are going to talk about the thing. You guys are going to want to either hop on the video or go watch the video. Okay, so Tim Holtz did a video the same time I did a video. He might still be doing his video. I'm not sure because I haven't clicked to see it. But Tim Holtz on his YouTube channel, so you're going to want to go to Tim Holtz YouTube channel. I don't know what it's called other than Tim Holtz. And he did a video today announcing the release of 12 by 12 paper pads. There's 12 by 12 and there's 8 by 8. And they are brand new paper pads that have never been released before. They are the palette color series of paper pads, meaning if you remember the palette Ephemera that he first launched with Ideology, then there was the palette fabric line that he had where the fabric came out in certain releases, like every month there was a new color of fabric available. He has now made 12 by 12 and 8 by 8 paper pads in the palette color series, meaning the first release was today. You get the red, the pink, and the orange. That's what's released today. You can choose which color you want, or you can order all three. I don't have a link for you. I don't earn commission, but I recommend you guys buy them from Simon Says Stamp. This morning when I ordered mine, they were still in stock. It's a pre-order, or at least it was a pre-order because Tim hadn't done the live yet. I don't know if it's still pre-order or what. You guys will have to head over to Simon Says Stamp and check it out. They have all of them, or had all of them in stock this morning. And as he releases, so January he released red, pink, and orange. I don't know when the next release is because I haven't watched his live yet, but he's going to be releasing all of the other colors, the yellow, the green, the blue, the purple, the neutral browns and vintage photo and black. And then there's probably a multicolor option available also. But you know, the last time he made 12 by 12 paper pads for us, it was the re-release of his old paper pads. Those things sold out within minutes. They were astronomically expensive if you missed out on the first go round. I recommend you guys buy enough that you are going to have whatever you're going to want of them, because he'll tell you in the live, I don't know because I didn't watch it yet, whether these are going to be readily available for forever or if it is a limited release. I don't know. You'll have to watch his live. But even if what I suggest you do is go order them at Simon Says Stamp first, then watch his live. Because if it's a limited thing and they sell out, they're probably not coming back. And you guys will cry when everybody else has it and you don't. So, and you know, I hate to say it like that, but that's really how I feel if I miss out on something. So I'm being a good girlfriend and I'm telling you now that he's doing it. He started the live about an hour and 45 minutes ago. If he's still live, then great. If he's not, go order your pads first and then, watch the live for inspiration. But there's red, pink, and orange. On Simon Says Stamp, you can order by color. You could order either the 8 by 8 or the 12 by 12. And they also had bundles where you got all three colors in 8 by 8 and in 12 by 12. That's what I opted for. Or you could order all three colors and, each one size, whatever you wanted to do. So there's packages there. You don't have to hoard yet? Okay, well, I'm hoarding anyway because I know how his stuff sells. So I'll watch the live to figure out exactly the details, but his 12 by 12 paper, because he hasn't made 12 by 12 in so long, the last time he released it sold out very quickly, like within an hour or so. Some of it was gone. And then by the next day, pretty much all of it was gone. And I tried to tell you guys about that, but by the time I did a video, it was like the next day, and I don't think you guys could find anything but maybe Dapper or something like that. Anyway, go check it out. If you're into that, go check it out. But I'm going to be using the 12 by 12 and the 8 by 8 in projects. And there is a journal series for the Tim Holtz color palette story. The inspiration is obviously Tim Holtz color palette. And so there is a journal kit for one of the months in 2026 where we will be doing something similar. Obviously his products are his products, and I can't say that I'll be using them in my own journals I make, but yes, I've definitely been inspired by that. Awesome, guys. Awesome. You know what happens when so Kendall says she just got the red. You know what happens when I only get one of some color and then I see everyone else using it and I'm like, dang, I really wish I would have got the rest of it. I did that with palette fabric in the beginning. I only got pink. And then I saw people using the red and even the yellow and orange and stuff that I don't typically use. I didn't order every pattern in the palette fabric, but I did go back and order the like the collagey ones and the ones with the tiny print because those are my favorite. So I didn't want to miss out. I knew I had to be here, so I pre-ordered. And also on Simon Says, another good thing for the rest of the colors that are due to be released, you can say notify me when they are in stock and enter your email, and they will send you a notification when that product actually is in stock, because they are going to be releasing periodically. And nobody knows what day, right, Simon Says Stamp is going to have them in stock. I suggest you guys sign up for the notification too. That way they'll email you when it actually is available and we have less of a chance of forgetting about it. I got them all. I got both sizes and I got them all. And I'm going to get every single other color, even if I don't think I'm going to use it, because chances are when it gets here, I'm going to be there. I love all Tim Holtz things, right? So if you don't love all Tim Holtz things, probably falling on deaf ears, but I love all of his stuff. So there's no ugly color to me, and I'm going to use them all. Anyway, that's it. That was the thing. I'm going to let you guys go. Have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you for hanging out with me and making some journals. I am definitely going to have to do some 365 videos, and now I'll have to make a pocket in that. But anyway, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you joining. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Now I'm going to go watch Tim. Bye, guys.